All right, guys. Hello. I'm glad you all can make it today. My name is Fizzer, and if you don't know, I am the guy that made WarLight. Um, some people in chat are saying they can't see the stream. If you guys could let me know if it's working for you, it'd be great. So this is the second time I've done a stream on twitch.tv. Also, let me know if the audio is too loud or too quiet. It'd be helpful. Great, I'm glad it's working. All right, so how's everyone doing today? I'm here, I'll be answering your questions, anything you want to ask. I might be also playing some games later. So first off, let's start with WarLight. So the other day, WarLight, we had an update. I want to go over what changed in the update. And it was a small update. So there was a big update 2 weeks or about a week ago that added we added the Twitch integration, of course, this thing in the top right corner. We also changed a bunch of stuff in history. In this update, in yesterday's or about a day ago update, we fixed a bunch of bugs in history. We also added this new open games page that I will talk about. So for those that don't know, in the update from a week ago, there used to be a My Games and Open Games link up here in the top right corner. Those were removed, and those are basically replaced with the My Games section on the dashboard and the Open Games section on the dashboard. Part of the reason we're doing this is because we're trying to get rid of all the Flash pages. And we eventually want WarLight to be completely usable without Flash. And so we're trying to so part of that, we're basically replacing those pages with these new sections. Some people don't like that too much. Some people like the old pages, and I can understand why there's resistance to that. The old pages had a couple nice things about them that the new ones didn't. And some of those things we fixed now in this most recent update. So one of the things we fixed was open games. There was an issue with trying to click on auto games, because if you click on an auto game, so basically there's a lag time between when this page loads and when you click on the auto game. If the game happens to have started in that time, you would, when you click on it, instead of taking you to the lobby, it would instead take you to the game that was in progress. In fact, that might have just happened in this example, because I could see there was somebody waiting when I clicked on it, and then I got in here and they were gone. So instead, what it does now is it always takes you to the latest one. So it'll always take you to the lobby, so you can always join it. Because it's a really bad experience if you click on it and the game's already started. Instead of being able to join the game, all you can do is watch the game that's in progress, which sucks. So we fixed that. We also added Open Games as a standalone page. If you click on the Open Games header, basically it is a standalone page. And so this is better because one of the complaints about before was that this page was too cluttered. Because if you look at the multiplayer dashboard here, there's a lot going on. Well, so A, there's a lot going on. B, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to see the open games. And C, even once you get here to the open games, we only show you a few by default. You have to click this Show More button. Which is kind of annoying too, because then it puts them in alphabetical order. So you might not even know where on the list you were looking before. You got like find your position again. And it's also hard to refresh this because when you click refresh, you have to click show more again. And so that's annoying. So all these things are a lot better in the open games page. So I'd encourage you guys to try this out and let me know if it's better. If you like it as much, let me know if you like it as much as the old Open Games tab that used to exist. If there's anything that's still missing that you feel like the old Open Games tab does better, I'd like to hear about that. Let's see. I will go through chat. Let me rewind a bit here. See if there's anything I missed. Let's see. First off, we don't need to ask all in caps, but that's okay. Can you make random teams more fair? Often the teams have high levels on one team and lower levels on another. Well, random teams is random teams. There could be like a weighted random teams or like a fair random, something like that. I don't know how thrilled I am about that idea. I mean, first off, levels in WarLight don't necessarily equate with skill. And of course, okay, so first off, if anyone's new to WarLight, levels don't actually help you at all. They don't make you any stronger. Levels just like unlock new features and stuff you can use. But WarLight games are completely fair. They're determined by skill. So if levels actually made you more powerful in the game, then this request would make a lot of sense. But given that levels don't make you more powerful, this request kind of makes half sense. I could see why some people would still want it. I mean, there might still be some sort of correlation between level and skill, because level is an indicator of activity, really, and people that tend to be more active tend to be better, but not always. I don't know. This is definitely a feature you could add to our user voice site, which I will introduce because we were just starting this live stream and some people might not have seen it. So WarLight has this user voice site, and this is where we track all our feature requests. So anytime you have a feature you'd like to see, you should come to this site, and if it's already here, you can just vote on it. If it's not here, you can add it. I think actually this request is already on here somewhere, although I don't want to find it right now. I know a lot of the things that people are going to ask me today during this live stream are going to be feature requests. And there's a lot of feature requests that fall in the category of, yeah, it's a good idea, but we have to weigh it with all the other feature requests to figure out what we want to do. The reality of software development is it takes so many hours to implement a feature that we're only going to be able to do like less than 1% of the things you guys want. So it's we can't do everything. There's a high bar for what we actually do. So unfortunately there's a lot of good requests that just are never going to make it, just because they're not as good as the other 1%. And oh hey, cool, Mythonian's here all the way from YouTube. Mythonia has a cool WarLight series on YouTube. You guys should all check it out if you haven't. Let me go through the chat here. I put it in the stream this time, unlike last time. So it's one of the things I never liked about Twitch is if you're watching a stream that happened in the past, you can't see the comments, but the streamer usually responds to the comments, and sometimes it's really confusing about what's going on. Let's see. We need the ally with this player button for diplomacy. I'm a diplomacy player. Yeah, that's actually, I consider that basically this top item, peace treaties, which is definitely something it's the highest voted item on user voice. So it's definitely something we would hope to do someday, but I don't know when. I'm glad you like my accent, thanks. New open games page looks good, good. Why can't we see coin games with open seats? So the coin games are on the multiplayer dashboard, and basically the way this section works is anyone that's waiting for a game gets thrown in here. We also always show Small Earth 1v1, and then anyone who's waiting for a game gets shown here. And then if you want to see the others, you click on these maps. We're talking about maybe changing the way this works. For one thing, I feel like this promoted games section is too big. Like, I can understand why open games, some of the complaint about open games is you have to scroll down too far to get to it. And I think promoted game section is too big. We're going to work on like making this smaller. Down with Flash, yeah. Well, I don't have a problem with Flash specifically, but the way the world is moving, we're going towards a plugin-less environment. So that's where WarLight will have to go. I missed the old pages at first, but I'm used to it now. That's good. I'm glad. I have 1,700 coins. Yeah, those are my real money. Can we have a filter for low-quality Twitch streams? It buffers a lot with my slow internet. I'm not sure what you mean. Low-quality Twitch stream. I don't know if I can control that. I'm kind of new to Twitch. So maybe somebody else that knows more about Twitch can answer your question. I've gotten 150 votes to bring back the Open Games and My Games tab. What is your thoughts and how do you plan to deal with this? Well, I don't know that we necessarily need 2 more tabs sticking out here. I mean, you can see it would even be covered up with the size of the window I have set to right now. But I don't know if we need duplicate ways of getting the same information. I mean, generally, I prefer the simplest UI possible. And if the My Games page if My Games are right here and the Open Games are down here, I don't know why we would also need them up here. So my question to you is, what about the old Open Games and My Games tabs do you care about? If there's something that's not being addressed by these, I would be interested in hearing about that. If you just think that they should be tabs and not on the dashboard, you can let me know that, or what it is that you specifically want. I don't want to have two ways of doing the same thing, but I want to have, I want to have it be one really good way. Links probably aren't allowed. I don't remember setting that up, but maybe that's just default. Let's see, I'm going to try to catch up on chat here. Why don't we have clear point farming rules? This is something that we've talked about, like, I assume you're talking about lottery games. I mean, there's two elements to that. One is lottery games, which are basically a game that has no skill. You join it and one person wins. At some point, we might actually go through and ban lottery games and like make up rules around that and what you can and can't do. Right now, lottery games are allowed, but we hide them. We make them kind of easy to hide, I guess we should say. Like right now, they're already hidden for me. I can click Restore Lottery Games, and they will appear if there are any. So yeah, like all these lottery games. These games, to me, I think these are kind of stupid. It's like there's absolutely no skill to them. You just join, and then you see if you win. It's dumb. I don't think they're very fun. But people do them because the person that happens to win gets points. We do have some rules around lottery games, like some people try to rig them sometimes where they set it up so that they always win. And we don't allow that. If you see someone doing that, you should report them. We usually punish that. But when it comes to other types of point farming rules, like if somebody tries to set up a rigged game, even that's not a lottery, like sometimes someone will set up a rigged game that only they can win, or they try to win by booting people. We don't allow that either. If you see someone doing that, you should report them. We'll take care of it. What is your opinion about Ale being in 270 plus games? That is insane. That's way more games than I've ever been in. Let me see. The points page is so slow. Ale. He's currently in 273 multi-day games. Yeah, that's pretty insane. I don't know what he's playing, but yeah, that's crazy. That's impressive. Let's see. We need the alley this player button. Oh wait, didn't I read that? Can we get a version of WarLight on Steam? Possibly, maybe someday. I don't know all the rules with how Steam works. I know Steam has... So back in the day, Steam didn't used to do free games, and WarLight's always been a free game. So I remember back in the day thinking that I probably want to go on Steam. But now they do free games. But I don't think they do games with ads. I mean, WarLight has ads. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look into it to see if our business model is compatible. Because WarLight has ads. I don't see any other games on Steam that has ads, so I don't know if they allow that. I also don't know if they'd be cool with our whole coins business model. But yeah, I'd like to be on Steam. They're a local company. Valve is a local company to me. I used to live like a mile from their headquarters. I actually went there once. Let's see. Are you going to change the 2v2 ladder template, and will there be more votes for template in the future? So there is a thread on the forums about changing, oops, not that one, about changing the ladder templates. You guys can go read this if you're interested in. I don't know if that's the change you're specifically referring to, but you can read about that on the forum. Move your keyboard away from your microphone. Yeah, I'll work on that for the next stream. I know I think it's more of an issue that the microphone is on the same table as my keyboard, so the sound like vibrates through it. But I'll work on that for the next stream. I don't want to try to rearrange things right in the middle. Let's say, hey Fizzer, what are you thinking about implementing that will help new players learn the game more coherently than through the current tutorial? So the biggest thing I'm thinking through in that area is doing basically an overhaul of the whole single player stuff. So there's like a tutorial now that at least does a good job at getting people through the idea of what the first turn of the game is like. I'm betting most people in the stream have seen this tutorial before, so I won't go through it in too much detail. But improving this is certainly on our radar, and adding more single-player levels in general, like basically fleshing out the single-player section into its own major part of the site. Because right now, it even says at the top, WarLight is primarily a multiplayer game, but these single-player levels are great for the first-time players and getting used to the game or for practicing. Basically, we want to change this so it's not just for first-time players. It's basically a game in and of itself, and there's a lot of levels and a lot more you can do in single-player. A whole single-player experience, really. I think that will help new players learn the game more coherently. And as part of that, too, we're going to introduce levels that introduce different features of the site, like, you know, there'll be a tutorial level for multi-attack. There'll be a tutorial level for abandoned cards. There'll be a tutorial level for all these more advanced concepts that people, right now, people basically have to learn it all by themselves, which we could do a better job at teaching all that stuff. Let's see, the video isn't working for me. I don't know. Try refreshing your browser. What is my middle name? Wow, I've never been asked that before. My middle name is Ray, R-A-Y. Let's see. Let's see, but that is true. The higher level means more experience in playing. Skill is a different question. Yeah, higher level generally correlates with experience. Like, I'd say it correlates with activity more specifically. Because you get points you get points quicker for winning, so there is a correlation, some correlation to skill as well, but certainly not all the time. There's plenty of good people who are low level, and there's plenty of people who are high level who are not good. So it's I don't know if I'd want to match people up based on level. I don't know if that would actually be a good thing to do. That's something the community can debate about. There are lots of players with 2,000 plus games that don't know anything about the game. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't know anything, but I'm sure it's an exaggeration. Where is the Open Games? Well, we went over that. Open Games is on the multiplayer dashboard. So you just click on multiplayer, you scroll down, and there you got your Open Games. Do you think Basque independence should happen? I don't know anything about that, sorry. Makes you wonder how they can't learn. I missed 15 minutes. I'll be posting the video at the end. Levels reflect lack of knowledge on the use of ad block, wishing to support Fizzer or love for ads. So it is true, if you run ad block on the site, you get points more slowly. It penalizes you. It pops up a little message that says, you should disable ad block, otherwise you won't get full points. And basically, if you get that message enough times and still don't disable ad blocks, it'll start docking your points, just new points you get. It'll first, it only docks it at 10%. If you still don't fix it, it docks it at 20%, and then it keeps going up to a maximum of 90%. Alright, Open Games on the top gone. We already went over that. Are you looking at other sites to get ideas? If so, which sites? Yeah, I mean, I look at lots of sites. I don't know any specifically. I certainly try to check out as many as I can. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any specific sites to name right now. Dashboard is not good. Okay, well, tell me what's not good about it. You need to be more specific to be constructive. Let's see. He has a certain amount of subscribers before Twitch allows him to set up more options. Okay. He got a message. Yeah, this happened last time too. Somebody sent me a message while I'm on stream because they want to see it blink. I'll look at it when the stream is over. Simplest UI possible and dashboard. Yeah, so this is one of the things Mercer and I argue about a lot. I tend to prefer really simple UIs, like the simplest thing possible. I'm a fan of the Google model, where Google is a text box and a button. Those of you who are old enough will remember what search engines looked like before Google existed, and they're like MSN.com, which is crazy and just has thousands of things all over the place. This dashboard is actually designed originally by Mercer, and we did it together, of course, but he made the first draft. So that's one of the things we argue about, simple versus complex. He's always trying to get me to add more stuff, and I'm pushing back saying, I want it to stay simple. So that's good feedback. I appreciate that. If you're looking at ways to improve the dashboard, have you seen Mully's dashboard user script? and we implement some of the features it has. I do remember seeing it back when he first posted it, like months ago. I haven't looked at it recently, so I don't want to make any specific comments. I don't really remember exactly what it looks like. I'm glad I made it for an hour's in. Yeah, welcome. Simple solution is dump it all to one page. Yeah. Dashboards sometimes show us out-of-date info, and I have to refresh all the time. I'm not sure what info you're talking about. Like, my games should be always up to date. One of the things that would be really nice on this page is if everything just stayed up to date, like dynamically. Like if you're in the middle of browsing open games and somebody joins this game, you could just see the boxes fill up and then like see the game magically disappear when it fills. I think that would be awesome. That's something I would definitely like to do someday. Like, we can do it. It's actually part of the reason we added the whole WebSocket support is for someday we can hopefully do, is for to help make it so we can someday hopefully do that. But I don't know when that'll happen. You should make a new window with the username, level, coins, and stuff. You talking about this the top right bar? I don't know what you mean. You should make a new window with it. You have to elaborate on that. Teammate takes over for booted surrendered player is a great feature, especially in the 2 vs 2 ladder. Yeah, I agree. I think it would be a cool feature. There's some things I'm a little bit worried about it. Like if you join, like, I mean, it's great for when you join with random strangers, people you don't know, and you're playing a team with them, and they just disappear, and all of a sudden you have to play for. And giving you the option of playing for them would make that a lot better. And I'm a little concerned that if it got used too much, that it could be like overwhelming. Like if you're constantly having to play like 3 people's turns every day you come on WarLight, it could get really tedious. And it kind of diminishes the whole point of team games in general, which is you're supposed to be like working together and like collaborating. And if it got used too much, one person is constantly playing for their team, it kind of diminishes the whole point of team games. I actually think the 2v2 ladder is a place where it's actually slightly less important, maybe just because the 2v2 ladder is kind of the most hardcore team place on the site, and you really should like not get booted. You shouldn't be getting booted in the ladder. You should be taking those games very seriously. But yeah, it'd be a good feature. It's definitely something we can try. So win by 1 minute direct boot is against the rules. So I say that you should be trying to win by strategy. You should not be trying to win by boot. It's against the rules to basically set up a game where you basically try to get your opponent booted. Like some people have done some sleazy things in the past where they like give the player 100 cards and force them to discard them all on the first turn. And if they're not like on the top of their game and paying attention and clicking discard 100 times, then they end up getting booted. So yeah, you shouldn't be trying to win by boot. That kind of stuff we punish. So if you see someone doing something like that, you should report them. But if you're just playing an honest game, you just like it going really fast, 1 minute direct boot is fine. We have talked in the past about doing some sort of speed game type feature where you can like check a box and the game gets advertised as a speed game, and then the turns happen much more quickly for people that play really fast. I wanted to do that originally with the Twitch update that was like 2 weeks ago, because streaming on Twitch WarLight games right now, it's kind of slow because you got to wait for your opponent to move. So a speed game would be good for streaming, but unfortunately that feature got cut. It didn't quite make it. Do you play role-playing games? Not usually. I tend to be more into like the strategy aspects. I have played some in the past. The video keeps freezing on my side. I don't know why. Sorry. Try refreshing your browser. What is the highest level you can be? It is infinite, in fact. It gets exponentially slower as you level up. I did it that way because I didn't want people to get to like level 200 or anything insane. I wanted it to seem achievable to new players. So it gets really slow. After like level, 53, I think, there's no real point to leveling up. It's just for, well, it's for color priority. So if you invite two people to a game that have the same color, whoever's the highest level gets their color. So levels still have a point after 53. It's also for ego. You know, some people really like having that level next to their name. And for name changes, you can only change your name once every 5 levels. So if you want to level up, if you want to keep changing your name, you got to level up. What do you think most people do not notice on WarLight? I don't know. It's a good question. There's one feature I think that's kind of cool I never see anyone mention, which is if you go to single player, there's this watch the AI play itself template, which is kind of fun. You just click go, and you get to watch the whole game play out in front of your eyes. And you can like mess with the settings and do all sorts of stuff. That's something people definitely don't notice. Gang of Prawns versus Mutant Shark. Yeah, it's a really old game I'm in. It's almost over. Why do you still have sound in single player and when looking at maps? Why do I still have sound? Like you're talking about this sound link? In single player and in looking at maps. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, even when you have disabled sounds. Did you hear sounds coming through my computer? I'm not sure if those sounds are being broadcast on Twitch. I set the streaming thing to point at my microphone, so I don't think it is, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. Fizzer plays some weird games. Thank you. The problem I have with the dashboard is that half the game is filled with blog posts, stats on map of the week, forum posts, and other things that I do not really need to see every time I join a game. While the important things, basically the games, occupy a fraction of the space. That's not simple UI. I do agree. You make a valid point. We went through this in the last live stream a little bit. So, I mean, if you look at this stuff, some of this stuff is important, like tournaments. You've been invited to 4 tournaments. I actually think this is important information. If somebody goes out of their way to invite you to a tournament, we do want to tell you. So I do feel like this is something that is worthy of its space. Recent blog posts is slightly less so, but I still think it's something that's valuable. I mean, I do know a lot of people get surprised when things change. And they're like, what the heck? How come this thing changed? And there's no like indicator of what's going on with WarLight. So I do feel like the recent blog post is interesting for people to, it's useful for people to read if they want to see what's happening. Map of the week, again, is probably even less important than recent blog posts, but I think people generally enjoy it. It's something that everyone can participate in, and it's something that gives a little bit back to the good map developers. Forum posts, again, just draw people into the forum because hardly anybody clicks on the community tab. Most people just want to come into see their games. And so by having forum posts here, it allows people to draw them into the community a little bit. Like this, the top post is an advertisement for this stream we're doing right now. And if this wasn't here, some of these people might not have known about it. So I do think this stuff is useful. The coin stuff, like the promoted game section and the coin leaderboard, this stuff is more kind of like ads. This is stuff that makes WarLight money. And I know if you're not a coin player, you don't want to see it. But it's one of those things that it kind of view it like an ad. Like if you don't care about it, you just got to kind of scroll past it and ignore it. And you know that it's there to make WarLight money. Maybe for members or something, we could offer the option to turn this off because it's just like we allow members to turn off ads. It would make sense to allow people that are actually supporting the site to just squelch it. Let's see. I was referring to increasing the number of picks, not changing to 0% straight round. Yeah, possibly. I don't know specifically when or if that'll happen, but it's a possibility. Let's be thankful that I'm not playing music. I thought about playing music. I see most people on Twitch play music, so I don't know. The reason I'm not playing music is more because I haven't set it up, not because I made that decision. But I'm glad you don't like that I'm playing music. You can get to level 47 in only a few hours if you keep doing lotteries. Really? That seems pretty extreme, but I would be surprised. I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually level that fast. You should show me a level 47 account that was just created a few hours ago. No, you don't have to actually do it for me. Just show me an account that was leveled that way. You can tell when a person is lying when they talk in a really high pitch. Okay. Do you think I was lying about something? What's your favorite map that isn't used very often? I'm not sure. I mostly just play on medium earth most of the time. I don't know what my favorite map that isn't used very often is. I usually use the maps that are used pretty often. Why aren't there more functions in the clan forum? You can't even delete topics. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just you should post your feature requests to user voice. It'd be a good addition. You know, everything takes time to add, so we have to prioritize what we add. So the only reason that feature doesn't exist is because it hasn't been prioritized over the other millions of features we could add. You have 6 games. Reducing promoted will be good for you, but it won't help someone who has 15 plus games. Still too much scrolling. So to someone that has lots of games, I recommend you check out this filter. Now you might not see this filter if you have very few games. This filter only appears, I think, once you have like 4 games in the list. If you set it to only show games where it is my turn or have unread messages, you'll only see games that have an action for you to do. So like you could set it to games where it is my turn, plus real-time. Real-time games always show. But multi-day games, if you set it to games where it's my turn, you only see the games where it's your turn. And then once you do them, they disappear from this list. So if you have lots of games, you should probably use one of these filters. That way you only have to see the games where you haven't moved yet. And the games where you haven't moved yet should be a pretty small list, I would imagine. At the very least, you just do them and then they're gone, right? If that doesn't match your experience, I'd be interested in hearing from you about why this filter isn't enough to handle your huge list of games. Won't 1v1 me because I call him a scrub. I don't know what you're talking about. You can invite me to a 1v1. I won't accept it during the stream. I'll play you later. How many players are playing the game? Like how many users are there? Because the amount of open games seems kind of low considering you can find the same person in multiple games. Yeah, I mean, there's like maybe 100,000 weekly players or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but I don't know. I think the number of open games seems pretty high. 64 on a weekday. It's not even a weekend. But yeah, WarLight's not that big. We're still growing. I just think he hasn't got to. He looked at my question. When are you going to hire a competent UI person so that the interface no longer looks bad? I don't know. Are you a competent UI person? You want to hire? We can hire you. Does Mercer like Prototype 1 or Prototype 2 more? I don't know what you're talking about with Prototype 1 or 2. Can I just say that this is the best free browser game I have found? Great, thanks. I'm glad you enjoy it. Are you thinking of adding any new cards? Well, we just added a card fairly recently. We added the bomb card. So you should check that out. I am new here. What do you think about diplomacy games? Diplomacy games are alright. Diplomacy games are kind of like, I mean, it's along the lines of role-playing games, kind of the same thing. People playing for diplomacy games. I don't think that it's my forte specifically, but I have absolutely nothing against them, and if you guys enjoy it, I think that's great. And is clan ladder something that could become a reality? If so, would it be 1v1? I don't know what a clan ladder would look like. I haven't given that a huge amount of thought. I mean, again, it's just another feature that's got to be prioritized against all the other million features that we could do. And to be honest, I mean, one of the problems with clan-specific features is that most people that play WarLight aren't even in a clan. So like it's like less than 2 to 3% or something like that. So it's tough to prioritize a feature that only 2 to 3% of the audience are going to be that can use ahead of a feature that everyone can use. You can understand why it's slightly less. It makes it harder to prioritize when it's already such a big prioritization problem. Can you create a game with a custom scenario World War Z with AI controlling zombies? And zombies be in every country, in Australia to be controlled by AI, and Tasmania to be 20,000? Sure, and you can set up, with custom scenarios feature, you can do quite a bit of stuff like that. Let's see, did mention something about user voice proposals in the first 15 minutes. Alright, you should stop asking the same question over and over. You can watch the video at the end. I don't even know what you're talking about. Would you be up for a WarLight OST? What's OST? Is there only one musical track for the entire game? Yes, WarLight only has one musical track. It plays in single player by default. It's called it's on the about page. It's called, oh, I just have the composer's name. It's called Heroic Return, I think. I have disabled my sounds in WarLight, but when I go to single player, it goes auto on. Really? So single player defaults to having the music enabled, whereas multiplayer defaults to having the music disabled. If you go to the settings tab, there's this sounds default thing. So normally you can just turn it on and off in the top right corner, but this changes how it defaults if you go to a new computer for the first time. Because the sound should persist in your local flash storage, as that's the way it works, your sound settings. So if you're playing in an incognito window for some reason, that would explain why it keeps resetting. Or if you have some sort of anti-malware program that keeps cleaning out your cookies or flash storage, that would also explain why it's resetting. But other than that, you can try it in the settings and see if that fixes it for you. Would it be possible to change the name change requirements every 30 days as in the past? It can be seriously difficult to get 5 levels for a high level player. Yeah, so that's actually by design. So the thing is, name changes are kind of disruptive to the community because when you change a name, it's really hard to tell who they were. It's really confusing when you're reading an old forum posts and people are referring to each other by name, but those people have changed names, and you don't know who's talking to who. And, so name changes, the idea is, most sites don't let you change your name at all. I really want to change my Reddit username, but they don't let me, so I'm just stuck with an old name. I think that WarLight allows name changes at all is kind of unique. But it's set up now so that when you're a new player and you don't have a big reputation, you can change your name a few times relatively easily. But once you get to a high level, you should be pretty well known by that point. And well-known people shouldn't be changing their name that often. Name changes should be rare, kind of like when you change your name in real life. It's a pretty rare, big decision. So I think it actually makes sense for somebody who's a high level to not be able to change their name very often at all. They should be really only changing their name once or twice once they reach high levels. All right, Master AFG, if you keep spamming, I'm just going to have to delete your chat. I want a World War Z custom scenario hosted by Fizzer. Okay, well, you can do it yourself. Why do I need to host it? Do you plan to reorganize the dashboard? I think that got cut off. When in single player, disable again. Okay. Forum and clan forums are most important. I think the clan forum on the right side is the most useful, else I would never see it. Yeah, I agree. Clan forum being on the multiplayer dashboard I think is a useful thing. Because otherwise you have to go there, before the multiplayer dashboard you had to go to the clan forum specifically. And that's asking people to do too many jumps. Is there any possibility that members or underage coin players cannot play coin games can disable coin visibility? So we just talked about the possibility for members. Underage players cannot play coin games. That's actually not true. Anyone can play coin games. The only thing you can't do if you're underage is withdraw coins back into cash. So you can still play coin games. You can earn coins, and there are things you can spend coins on the site. You just can't earn money from the site if you're underage. Do you plan to reorganize the dashboard for convenience? It is kind of a page to scroll the entire page to find what I want. Well, your mind games are at the top, so you shouldn't have to scroll for that. Open games is the only thing I think that's major you'd have to scroll for, unless you're talking about clan forum or something. And open games, again, we talked about this before, where the only reason you have to, promoted games is kind of like an ad. Open games, we added this dedicated open games page, so you can just bookmark this if you really are that concerned about it. What do you think about the no look cycle start? Is it still based on luck who is the fastest? What if you randomly determine in advance who gets the first pick? Okay, so those that aren't familiar with it, no luck cycle is a mode of WarLight where This is introduced to try to eliminate all luck from the game. So a normal cycle, it's basically the same amount of luck as chess. Basically, there's a coin flip to determine who gets first move on the first turn. Just like in chess, you have to determine who gets white and who gets black to determine who moves first. But with the no luck cycle, you can actually have even less luck than chess. You can have it be completely luck free. So basically, whoever plays fastest on the first turn gets first pick. And I don't think it's based on luck, because it's based on basically how much time you spent in thinking. If you're really fast and you can look at a map and determine where you want to start really fast, you go first. What if you randomly determine in advance who gets the first pick? So really the whole point of this no luck cycle was introduced for coin games. And coin games can't have randomness. For legal reasons, in fact, because if you have randomness in a game that you're playing for money, it's called gambling. And WarLight can't be gambling because of the laws. So randomly determining in advance who gets first pick, that's basically just cyclic move order. And so you can already do that if you want it, but we can't do it for coin games. So no luck cycle still has to exist. It's not about things being worthy or not worthy. I'm sure they all are. But a page has a function. I go to a dashboard to play games, not to read forum posts. Do you really want me to read forum posts when I don't want to? By the means of creating a page that is crowded and frustrating to use, is it worth it to you? Well, I mean, you don't have to read them. You can just ignore them. I mean, they're always in the same place every time. So the humans have a really good ability at ignoring things that are irrelevant to them. Some people do like to read them. I mean, there's already been people up above in Twitch chat that said they like having the forum posts there. And sorry guys, I'm way behind on chat. I'm doing my best. I haven't done the full 147 in a few hours, but we got from 40 to 47 in under an hour. Yeah, okay. Maybe you just got on a lucky streak. I don't know if that would be consistent. I would be surprised if that was consistent. When will be more playable coin templates? That is something worth talking about. You should stay tuned. How do you feel about adding a guides section? Some really good guides have been written, and they aren't really advertised to new players. I've seen one guide a long time ago. I don't remember exactly what I saw or who made it. I think really the best way at teaching people how to do it, how to play the game, is by making better single player tutorials. I mean, a guide is just something. The guides I've seen are just like PDF files. You just read them, and they have like screenshots in them. I don't think that's as powerful as having an interactive tutorial that actually walks you through playing the game and doing the stuff. So I think the best way of doing that is to have tutorials. I have sockets on, but it doesn't fully refresh the page. The little star behind the opponent doesn't go unless refreshed. That shouldn't be the case. If you have... So he's talking about this sockets feature, which right now is optional. You can turn it on in the settings. Use sockets. When it says connected in the top right corner, the little stars should disappear. I have seen it not work a couple times, so maybe just that one time it didn't work for you. So I need to fix that. There are a couple bugs in it. That's why it's still experimental. It's got this big logo on it. So yeah, there's still a few little bugs in it, but it works most of the time. So yeah, I need to work on that and fix that up. I reckon personalizing your dashboard would be awesome. Could decide what to have. Also maybe personalized color. So have green, gray, blue, gray. Some people complain about the dashboard and stuff. Sure, given infinite time, I'd go for it. Can you say one thing that's on the immediate roadmap? I try not to release the immediate roadmap or the roadmap in general because, for one thing, I want to retain the ability to change my mind. One of my pet peeves is when game developers announce some feature and then end up changing their mind and never doing it. And I really don't like that, so I try to only announce things once I'm 100% sure I can deliver it. So I don't want to announce any sort of roadmap. We'll commit and you see the star doesn't go away. You should try that with someone else and try it on your own time and then let me know. Because it should go away. I've tested that. It really should. I'm pretty sure. At least most of the time. Are we going to get a clan tab in the select players and add remove players menu? Yeah, I mean, kind of like exists for tournaments. If you go to a tournament, you have this clans tab where you can be like, I want to invite people from this tab, and then you can choose. I mean, all these people have already been invited, but yeah, I assume this is kind of what you're asking for games. This thing already exists for tournament, but you want it for games. I think it'd be a good feature. You should add it to user voice. Let's see. I got charmed by all the sparse appearance of the AI. Change the color of fog. Fog is like a little striped color. Oh, and WarLight is a great game. Love it. Great. I'm glad you enjoy it. Do you plan on ever adopting any of the player-created leagues as site leagues ladders in the future? It's definitely a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not too familiar with which ones you're talking about, but basically, if they can prove that they're in it for the long haul, I don't want to do a bunch of work and then have them like abandon it the next month. But if they can prove they're in it for the long haul and they're willing to, and there's enough interest in it, then sure. Don't know if I should admit this, but I started playing WarLight largely because of the only online multiplayer game I could get to function through my government work computer. Yeah, all right. Maybe that's just because I don't know why. Maybe because I don't know why other games wouldn't work. Maybe your government just blocks specific games, and WarLight is small enough that they haven't blocked it yet. Haven't missed anything important? Nope. What do you think about GUI's 10 measures to improve WarLight? I can go over that. Maybe once I catch up on chat, I can look at some of the forum stuff. There's also other people asking questions to me on the forums, I know. OST, original soundtrack. Oh, okay, that's what that stands for. But now I can't remember what the previous question was, so I can't reply to it. I don't want to scroll up and find it. What do you think of hiring me to make an original soundtrack for WarLight? Sure, I'm not familiar with your music, but if you want to throw something, or if you want to like mail me with what you have, and if you have something you've made in the past that you think would work well for WarLight that at least demonstrate what you're capable of, you could send that to me. I'll listen to it. Would you willing to let people compose more music for you? Sure. I'm not a music composer. I know nothing about making music, so I will listen to it and think it over. Now Fizzer reads all the rubbish I've written. Are you able to pick a soundtrack for the game in the game settings? Right now we only have one soundtrack, so you can't really pick it. I assume most people start with the music on when they're brand new to WarLight, and then at some point they get tired of it and turn it off and play their own music. Given how many hours most people spend in WarLight, at least the hardcore people I know, I don't know if I'd ever be able to come up with enough music that wouldn't get old. Even if we added like 10 more songs or 20 more songs, it would still get old, and you'd still eventually want to mute it and play your own music. So I don't know if there's really that. I don't know if it's that big of a deal to add more music. It's kind of something there just to get you started. 100,000 people. Most must be really casual because I see the same 100 people all the time. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're just only see the people that are making games with prerequisites that you match. Also, I mean, there's a lot of people that play WarLight just for single player, and there's a lot of people that just play with their friends, and they never go out into the general community. So, Fizzer has Reddit confirmed? Sure, I've read it. He's read it. Isn't loading for me. Wait, what isn't loading for you? The stream isn't loading for you? I don't know. Try refreshing. Are you planning on modifying the AI or adding different level difficulties for it? Yeah, possibly. I mean, if we ever modified the AI, it would probably be when we do a single player overhaul. And I don't even know if we necessarily will. I don't know if I necessarily like the idea of level difficulties for the AI. I would rather just have the AI always be working at its maximum and adjust the difficulty by how many armies they start with in comparison to you, kind of like the single player levels do. I think that's the easier way of doing it, but it's a possibility. How close am I to level 57? I have no idea. Let's look. I am 62.38%. Wow, I haven't even earned any points in 30 days. Wow, I'm slacking. The Open Games bookmark is nice. Please don't ever delete it or modify it or do anything creative with it. I don't know if you're talking about the old Flash version or the new Open Games page. So I'll just assume you're talking about the new Open Games page. And okay, I won't delete it. Statistically, white usually wins in chess. I wouldn't say usually. I would say they have a slight edge. Isn't it like 51% or 52% or something like that? And even then, it's only probably between two players that are evenly matched. I wouldn't consider that usually. I wouldn't consider that usual. I'm be surprised that the person who made 1444 Diplomacy hasn't played EU4. Okay. Don't you think the prices for creating a tournament are too high? As far as I remember, the goal was to have 10 open tournaments at any given moment. Currently, there's rarely more than one. Possibly. So first off, when you create an open tournament, the price is basically going towards the prize. So one of the things I really like about, I really wanted to happen with tournaments, is I wanted people to I wanted most tournaments to have rewards. I mean, that's what I think is awesome, because if tournaments have rewards, they're much more valuable, and they're more appealing, and you know, people take them more seriously, and they're more fun. So we had this idea of charging to create tournaments, charging coins. So like this tournament cost 150 coins to create. I think you can get down to like 110 coins, and it basically goes to the winner of the tournament. So it's not really I don't consider it a cost, or what did you call it? The price. You're basically seeding the pot. It might be too high. I notice most people there's not like 10 active all the time, but also if there's more than, really, as long as there's one active, I don't see it as a huge problem, because there's always something available for people to join. The only scenario where it makes sense to have more than one is if the people don't like the settings of the one that exists right now and they want a new one. That's definitely something we could adjust in the future. Let's see, I don't mind the forum pages on the right. I just ignore them completely. Okay, that's fine. What is the possibility of open tournaments being created without live streams? I plan to host a few live streams after I upgrade my computer, but curious. So you can already create open tournaments without live streams. You just have to make them a coin tournament and give away money. Can we get 1 minute auto boot option for real-time games? Yeah, I talked earlier about a speed game option, and sounds like that's kind of what you want. Some way to have a speed game where everyone plays really fast. Possibly someday. How many fish does it take to change a light bulb? I don't know. Tell me. Queef Boss, he was talking about speed games. Personalized dashboard, please. Okay, don't spam or caps. Never works for me. Crap. See, I'm so far behind on chat. I don't understand context. Like, never works for me. What doesn't work for you? You have to be more specific, because I'm behind on chat. Sorry. I see you playing my map. Are you enjoying it? Which map? Oh, the AI human game map. Oh yeah, somebody created this game. I didn't create it, but I shouldn't show it because I don't want to give away my position. Yeah, this is an interesting game someone made. It was everyone's teamed with an AI. So and I'm like surrounded by wastelands, so my player can't do anything. All I can do is feed my AI. I can like airlift to him and stuff. So it's an interesting game. How about creating an official WarLight tutorial on how to create your own map? Step by step is easy to understand. Some people have already done that. There's some tutorials on YouTube. The official tutorial is basically the wiki. If you go to how to make my own map, you can read through this stuff. This is basically the tutorial. Certainly it could be made easier, but I think the community should handle that. Really, honestly, right now, getting more maps is not really a problem WarLight has, so it's hard to prioritize making a map tutorial ahead of all the other things I could be doing. I'd rather focus on the features that the community couldn't do, because there's plenty of features that the community can do themselves. How about an option for tournament creators to invite players to specific teams? Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Right now, team tournaments, you're basically left to form the teams yourselves. The players are. So you should user voice it. What do you think of the Poon Squad? I don't know anything about them. Will there ever be something to do on the dashboard to read game chat without opening each game? Possibly. I don't have any plans for that right now, but I can definitely see why that would be useful if for the really hardcore players, if you know the game and you know like there's just chat here and you just want to read it and you don't want to spend the time to load the whole map, I can see why that would be useful. But it seems kind of low priority to me. What is the atomic number of the element purple? I don't know. Great game. You should join. My video keeps stopping randomly and I have to refresh. I don't know. Hopefully it's only you. If there's a problem, if everyone's having a problem, let me know. Search WarLight map making. Sorry, I'm going to try to catch up on chat here. Whoa, it keeps jumping around. It like has this more messages below thing. I thought that meant that it wouldn't scroll, but it scrolls. How many achievements are there? I don't know the exact number. You can go to someone's profile. Crap. And you can see like this percentage next to their name. So you can probably calculate it if you just count up how many they have and multiply it by the percentage. Insane challenge is now quite easy with a 0% straight round. I don't know if I'd call it easy, but it's easier than it was before the luck changed. I haven't completed Europe challenge. Yeah, I haven't played all the single player levels in the production server. I played them all when I was making them. And then once I launched it live, I didn't necessarily feel like going and playing them again because I played them so many times when I was making them, like on my local development server. Can you add more colors or are there too many right now? You should go to the previous live stream. We discussed that at length. Basically, the problem is that the colors conflict. So there's 24 colors right now. If you try to do too many, you have two colors that are too similar to each other. So yeah, I explained it in detail in the previous live stream. You can go find a link to that on the forums. If Fizzer wants an original soundtrack, you could try something like 2 Steps. Okay, I'm not familiar with those. Is WarLight racist? No, as far as I know, WarLight is not racist. We have rules against racism, so if you see someone being racist, you should report them. The color blue helps you in strategic games, as it makes you subconsciously more far-sighted and better at planning. The red helps you in short ability, confidence, etc. Okay. Will something be done about the graphs of previous ranks and ratings on the ladder? If you stay on the ladder for a while, mine is unreadable. Yeah. Hopefully someday. I don't know. Who's been on the ladder for a long time? Like you go to Dead Piggy, his graphs. I assume the problem you're talking about is like these bubbles just get too close together. You can't really read them. If somebody's been on the ladder for a long time, because Dead Piggy's been on the ladder since 2012. Yeah, that'd definitely be an area to improve. Just got to prioritize it against everything else. You kind of sound stressed. No, I don't think I'm stressed. I think I'm okay. But thanks, I'm glad you're concerned. Yeah, you should be able to sort ladder ratings by time periods or something. Yeah, like zoom in, kind of like Google Analytics, where you can like highlight a section, and it just zooms in. Wow, why can't I unhighlight this? What the heck happened? It's not my selection. It turned blue. Oh well. Is there no way to make images show up in the map editor? So the map editor is all vector-based. So you make maps out of vectors. So you can make images kind of with vectors, but you can't insert like a JPEG. I would like to be able to create free open tournaments without live streams. Possibility. So we used to support free open tournaments, and the problem was that too many people made free open tournaments. I mean, there were like 300 of them or something, and they were all stale, and people weren't joining them. And basically, you need, for every person that wants to make like a 500-person tournament, you need 500 people willing to join that tournament in order for everything to stay, balanced out. Because if you have more people willing to create tournaments than there are people willing to join tournaments, then the list just gets really huge and the tournaments don't ever start, and it becomes a problem because it's a bad experience for everybody. It's a bad experience for the guy that made the tournament because it never gets to start. He never gets to see it played. It's a bad experience for the people that join that tournament because they join it and then the tournament never starts. Or in some cases, the tournament would start like 6 months later, something crazy like that. And by then, they've already forgotten about it and they don't care anymore. You want tournaments to start relatively quickly. So that we had to kind of restrict the ability to create tournaments down a little bit. And it's much better now, at least in the ways it was bad before, because now you can join a tournament and be assured that it's actually going to start in a reasonable time frame, and then you actually play the tournament. So that's why we had to change that. It was kind of broken before. Math Wolf, you should have shown the human AI game. I was watching carefully. Yeah, I think, is that because you're in that game? I think maybe you are. I don't know. If you maybe your color's different. I don't see your color. I don't know. It never works for me. The sockets. Star before the opponent indicates he's committed. Please tell me this reminds you. You should, if you're still having a problem with the sockets, you should file a bug. If you go to the bottom of any page, there's a contact link, report bug page. You should fill this out and let me know. Maybe, there could be issues for you with the sockets, like it could be you're behind a VPN or something that's blocking them. So I can dig into that for you and try to figure out what's going on. Yes, I am the sole creator of WarLight. I started it back in 2008. The map tutorial is actually really great in my opinion. I had no experience with it and got used to it pretty quick. Cool. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad it helped you. It's gone through a few iterations. It's a lot better now than it used to be, but it still could be better. Where are you on the political spectrum? I don't think we should talk about politics during this. Politics is one of those subjects that just alienates people. You do that if there are opponents playing. They are already able to see your position more or less by the colors in the mini-map next to the game. Might want to make a feature to hide that. I don't think that's true. So I think you're talking about these little images. These little images only show the game as a spectator would see it. So like these games all have normal fog, so there's like no colors in there. If you go to like past games, so games once they're finished, then yes, it shows you a little mini map here where you can see all the colors of who is where. No, that was a fun game. Can we have my games page back? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. You should. You can go watch the previous stream where we talked about it at length. I will try not to answer repeat questions too much for the people that are here the whole time. Can non-members also make maps? Anyone can make maps. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to pay anything. Just go to the help tab if you're interested in making a map, and there's instructions are all there. Will we ever see a ladder for anything bigger than 2v2? Maybe a 3v3 or 8v8, possibly. Really, as long as there's demand for it, I'm willing to make it. But you need a healthy size to make a ladder. And as the teams get bigger, you need more and more people willing to play in ladders those size. For a long time, the 2v2 ladder was like really underpopulated. It's not anymore. Now it's actually pretty healthy. So that's an indicator that maybe it's time to start thinking about a 3v3 ladder. We'll see. You keep mentioning how some ideas are low priority. What are some high priority features you're currently working on? As I said earlier, I don't want to reveal exactly what we're working on because I want to reserve the ability to change my mind. I don't like it when game developers say they're going to add something and then end up changing their mind. So I don't want to announce anything unless I'm 100% sure I can deliver it. And I don't have anything to announce today. Let's see. What is your favorite map? Mercer. Mercer asking me a question. Um, I don't know if I have a favorite map specifically. I usually just play on Medium Earth. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite, but it's what I usually play on. Do you know if there'll be any live stream tournament after this? I haven't heard of any. If anyone wants to host one, you can speak up in chat. Can we reorganize the clan list or have different ways to sort it? I'm sick of seeing Dark Lords at the top of the page. Yeah, so the way this is sorted now is basically the collective points that all the players in the clan have earned. And really the only reason it's sorted that way is because that way the people that... Because points are basically a measure of activity. So if you sum up all the points for the clan, you basically get a measure of that collective clan's activity. So basically, effectively what that does is it puts the people at the top that you're most likely to run into if you're out playing WarLight, which is a somewhat reasonable way of sorting it. It's not, obviously it's not trying to sort it by skill or anything like that. It's basically sorting by activity. And if Dark Lords is the most active because they have the most people that have earned the most points, that seems like a pretty reasonable way to sort it to me. Someday I'd love to make some sort of way of actually measuring skill of clans or something like that, where clans are actually competing to see who's highest on the list. But if that's something you're interested in, you should put it on user voice, and we can maybe do that at some point in the future. But right now it's just sorted by activity. For anyone who cares which achievements I've missed, win an FFA coin game. Why don't you just go win an FFA coin game? It's not that hard. Win 10,000 games. Yeah, so win 10,000 games is probably the hardest achievement. There's nothing higher than that. That's the highest achievement that requires you to win a certain number of games. There are some people that have it, though. I'm going to go buy some weed. All right, have fun. That's legal where I live, so I don't have to look down on you. What does all gold mean? I assume they're talking about single player. You can get gold stars for beating levels in number of turns. Rewards for inviting people to WarLight. Membership points. Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to do, like a reward system. There used to be one for, like back before points existed, there used to be a reward where you get a membership if you invited people who bought a membership, but it didn't really work. Not enough people did it. Doing something like that with points would make sense. I always planned on doing it, never got around to it. I can't beat the one who invited me as nobody did so. That's not listed. Yeah, so there's an achievement for beating the person that invited you to WarLight. If no one invited you, then it just doesn't appear on your list. You can never get it, but it's okay. It doesn't contribute to your percentage, so you can even get to 100% without it. What can be done to lessen the impact on diplomacy games when someone leaves? The balance of power can get destroyed, huge land grab. Could there be an option whereby someone's armies are distributed evenly among all their held territories, or the land is unconquerable for X turns? Possibly. I don't know if that would work that well. I mean, obviously we can't stop people from leaving. I mean, the best way of handling it now, of course, is just find people that like to play the kind of games you like to play that are reliable and don't leave. But yeah, there's a possibility. You should add it to user voice. We can look into it. Could there be a limited number of free open tournaments unlocked at a high level? Well, there actually is right now. It's just that number is 1. So if the tournaments list is ever empty, then you can create one for free. And it doesn't matter what level you are. Doesn't allow black as a playable color. So black is not a playable color because the background is black, and we want to avoid conflicting with it. It actually is a playable color in really big games, but only when it's needed. All gold is gold star on all single player levels. Yeah, Mathwolf is in that game. The game's been going for a while. Your game is great and so original. Great, I'm glad you enjoy it. What are your thoughts on allowing real-time spectating for people on your friends list, so you don't have to wait till the game's to be over before you can watch history? That's a possibility. I need to really think about cheating for that feature, because if you allow people to see, well, I assume they're just seeing it from your perspective, right? Like your friends are seeing your game, what you can see. They can't see the whole map, of course. Otherwise, they could just relay the information back to you. But yeah, like you could do something where you could say like, maybe not just your entire friends list all the time, but rather you could say, I want to give X person the ability to see what I can see in this game while it's in progress. There's no real downside to that as long as it's explicit and it's done in a way that people aren't going to try to trick you into doing it. And as long as as long as you have to consent, of course, because we don't want that happening silently. Because people have alt accounts, and sometimes they'll relay the information around, and we don't want people to cheat with that feature. What is your favorite video game? I'd have to say my favorite video game is WarLight, of course. It is the game I made because it is what I enjoy. Lately I've been playing a lot of a game called FTL as well. You guys should check that out. That's a pretty cool game. If people want to cheat, they're going to cheat. They don't need some real-time spectate to do it. Well, they do if they need, because they can't see through the fog any other way. So real-time spectate could actually be used for cheating. If it was abused, if we ever added to the game, we'd do it in such a way that cheating would not be easy with it. 1 and 2 turns, what a beast. Okay, I want a game in 2 turns. I'm not sure which one. I can't remember. Would you make a Garfield map with Garfield the dog and lasagna as the landmass? Anyone could make that map, as long as Garfield isn't copyrighted. I'm not sure if that would be allowed. I'm not sure if it's copyrighted. Can you give us 2 more picks on the 2v2 ladder and 0% luck? I made a poll on the thread. Possibly. We were talking about that in that thread. We should talk about that in that thread more. I want to try to catch up on chat. You can't really cheat in a 1v1. Make an easy way to see the enemy's position would encourage cheating. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Why does Mercer have Warzone in his account, but you have WL, meaning WarLight? Are you more in favor of WarLight? Mercer is more in favor of Warzone. I think that's mostly because I created my account a long time ago, back before Warzone was ever even in the picture. And I assume Mercer did that because his Mercer was taken and he just needed to add something to the end. Only people in WarLight on your friends list can view, or maybe WarLight can prompt you when someone requests to spectate if they approve. Yeah, absolutely. I think it would need explicit approval because the friends list isn't necessarily people. Well, because right now the friends list doesn't let people view your territories, and so people have added friends. And then if we all of a sudden add this feature and all your friends can view your territories, people might not realize it. So yeah, it would have to be some sort of explicit approval. Do you have any plans to add other official victory conditions, like for diplomacy games, or allow an option to allow players to form/break teams to share victory once the game has started, and without them? This can make for some interesting custom games. Yeah, it's all good ideas. You should add them all to user voice. Nothing planned like that right now, but I could definitely see the use for it. Dark Loads is not the most active. Aren't half their members inactive? Well, I mean, points is a measure of activity over the lifetime of your account. So it's possible that the clan ranking system isn't ranking people who are active right now, but it's at least ranking people who are active over their lifetime. What is your favorite nation in history or the modern world? I have no idea. I was born in the United States, but I did not choose to live here. It's just where I was born. I have no idea what my favorite nation would be. Yeah, I don't know. I would not say that the United States is my favorite nation. There's lots of problems with the United States, but I don't have enough world knowledge to know if there's other nations that are any better, or if they have. Every nation has problems. We talked about colors earlier. And a way to reward people and opponents not to stick around might be on putting. Yeah, it's similar to what we talked about. Are you in Colorado or Washington? Because you said weed is legal where you are. Yes, I am. I live in Washington. I would totally invite people, I swear to you, to get membership and to help the game. Get rewarded if it would be a dream. Cool, yeah. Someday, hopefully, we'll add that. How much money have you made off WarLight? So WarLight is my full-time job. I make basically enough to survive. So I don't want to reveal any exact numbers, but yeah, I'm surviving. I'm alive. Any plans to increase enforcement and maybe give mods power to give micro bans? Well, we have a mod system now. If you report someone, it gets reviewed by moderators, and they can do bans. I don't know about the idea of micro bans. Usually if they do something bad enough to get banned, usually we give out warnings first, unless it's something really bad. And then you only get banned if you continue to be really bad, especially after you've been warned. So I don't know about micro bans. We usually do longer bans. How many active players does WarLight have today? And do you know if many Swedes play? People play from all over the world. I know there's a lot of. I know there are Swedes that play. There's maybe like 100,000 active players or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but somewhere in that range. I like how Fizzer redirects the question from how is racist to how black is a playable color. Thanks. One solution. Whoa, this thing keeps scrolling on its own. One solution to the diplomacy problem might be from the game literally called Diplomacy. If a player leaves that game, they're replaced, and the alliances are carried over. Perhaps there's a tab with games in progress where booted people could be replaced. I've never been a big fan of that specific feature because I don't really understand why people would join games that are in progress, especially because most of the time when people quit, like it's because they rage quit or they were losing and they were doing bad. And so I think if we implemented that feature, the end result would just be a page with a whole bunch of really bad games where you can join losing positions. People might try it once or twice, but what's going to keep them coming back? I think it would be super boring. Like, join a game where you're in a losing position. I mean, even if it doesn't count against your rating or record or anything, it would still just be dumb. Like, why would people keep joining games where you're about to die? It's like you have one territory left and the other guy has 1,000 armies next to you. It's like, okay, that was fun. Why would I do that? Why are some colors like reinforced only allowed when your color is taken? Why can't you use those normally? So, all right. Since this is the second time it's been asked, I'll go over it again, even though we did it in the previous live stream. So, WarLight has 24 main colors to choose from. They're listed right here. And we did a lot of work to try to keep these colors from having any that are too similar to each other. Because if you have colors that are too similar to each other, when two people are next to each other in a game, they end up you can't tell them apart, and you can't tell that it's two different people. And especially if you see the same person in two different areas of the map, you need to be able to tell that it's the same person. And with 24 colors, it's really hard to have 24 unique colors that are unique from each other. There's already a lot that are too close, even from my opinion, like orange and orange-red, yellow and ivory. And like ivory is too similar to the neutral color, which isn't shown here, but so there's a limit to how many colors you can have. So when we wanted to have more than 24 people in a game, we had a problem, which is if we add more colors, you can't add more without having them conflict with the existing ones. So what we did is we added these what we call reserve colors, and a lot of these conflict, but at the least to minimize the conflict, we set it up so that the reserve colors can't be used, it can only be used in games where it's needed. So if you're in a game with less than 24 players, you just get the base colors. If you're in a game with more than 24 players, you get to add the reserve colors. So basically, because we're trying to minimize conflicts, we don't let these be used except where you absolutely need them. How about people can send a request if they want to see you play? You can then in game decide. Yeah, it's the same as what somebody said earlier. Are you thinking of making a WarLight shop selling t-shirts, hats, and such? We did talk about it once, but I'm sure you can already go to many sites on the internet. I'm sure if you Google like custom t-shirts, you can already find a site that'll make you a t-shirt out of whatever logo you want. There's no plans right now of making merchandise. I don't have any experience doing that. I don't know what's involved. Will new seasons continue to be no luck cycle? Actually, probably not. No luck cycle is the feature we talked about it earlier on the live stream, but that's the feature where the fastest picker on the first turn gets the first move. Probably shouldn't have used that in the seasonal ladder now that I think about it. So maybe for future seasons I should probably just go at least up to cyclic or even random would be fine. But no luck cycle is really added for coin games. Outside of coin games, It's not necessary. I'm actually not a big fan of it. But it's necessary for coin games for legal reasons, but outside of coin games, it doesn't need to be there. It was because they're too similar to... Yeah. Will WarLight come up with a better way of seeing who is online? That is indeed something that's high on the user voice list, and it is something I've given some thought to. And we added that thing on people's profiles where it says, like, last seen less than 15 minutes ago. When I added this was actually a first step towards making a system where you can see who's online. So this was the first step towards it. That got done. Next is to do some sort of, expand upon it, make it better. Or at least a way to make clan members to quickly communicate. Yeah, so one of the things I'd like to add someday is a better chat feature. A chat feature global to the entire site, not just for specific games. So you could have like a clan chat. I think it'd be really cool if there was like a clan chat, like a little box that popped up in the corner where you could just talk to your clan. You could also have like a global chat, or chat. There can be like a chat for people that are looking for real-time games. There's a room just for them, and all sorts of stuff like that. I'm not sure what question I'm dodging. He directed us to buy our own t-shirts or whatever from sites. Yeah, since you are... keeps moving. Since you also answer random questions, what is your opinion of the relocation of the Seattle Supersonics to Oklahoma City? Do you or any of your friends hold a grudge against their owner or previous owner? I never got into the NBA. I'm not a basketball guy. I do have an older brother that was really a huge Seattle Supersonics fan, and he was quite upset when the team moved to Oklahoma. But personally, I don't really care. Ireland should be your favorite nation. Ever hear of it? Like it or not. I have heard of Ireland. I think most people have heard of Ireland. I've never been to Ireland. I don't know too much about it. Who did 9/11? People. Any plans for adding... Oh, crap. It keeps jumping around on me. Any plans for adding more games to be created for non-members at a high level? I don't know what you mean by adding more games. We don't limit the number of games people can create, so you can already create as many games as you want. Got any favorite TV shows / movies? I don't know. I just finished watching the 5th season of Game of Thrones. So that's pretty cool. If you had to join a clan, which would it be? I probably wouldn't join somebody else's clan just because I want to stay impartial. What are some projects you're working on now or plan on working on in the future? Just like I said before, I don't want to reveal any future plans for WarLight because I want to reserve the ability to change my mind. So I don't like it when game developers announce features and then end up not doing it. So I don't want to reveal anything unless I'm 100% sure I can deliver it. Looks like we have a counting bug. The 100 at the top is not going down. Yes, you are right. There is a bug with this Twitch on ad thing that is up here. When I first went to do today's Twitch stream, I noticed it was broken and it didn't appear at all. Like it was just invisible. And I had to hack it and just to get it up there at all. And as part of the hack I did, the number of viewers is not accurate. So yeah, sorry about that. We actually only have 71 viewers right now, but it says 100. I literally just had to type in a number to get it up there. After the stream is over, I'm going to go look into that and see if I can fix that. Someone asked on this thread, what is the stock difference between you and Mercer? I am the majority holder. I don't need to tell you exactly how much Mercer owns, but I'll tell you that I am still the majority owner. How much did he buy them for? Would it be possible for others to come in at? We're not really looking for investors, to be honest. Sorry. I said 100 right from the start of the stream. Yeah, you did. You can survive pretty easily. I've seen it on TV. You can survive in a forest drinking your own pee. Are you in a forest drinking your own pee? No, but I'd be up for that. I could survive. I could live cheaper if I moved to a cheaper area. Well, I did just recently move to a somewhat cheaper area, but to a nicer house at the same time, so it ended up costing me about the same. Some people are anonymous. Oh, yeah. smokes weed in the forest. No, I don't smoke weed. And if you're in a reasonably civilized area, it could be public water fountains. All right, all right. You should add the reserved colors to playable colors. I mean, if someone thinks the color are too similar, they can always change them on their own screen. They can, but it's also kind of a pain because, especially in multi-day games, because you change it once and then you come back the next day and it's reverted. Like it doesn't persist right now. That's point number one. Point number two is the mobile app doesn't let you change colors, so it's still not a complete solution. Well, maybe at some point in the future we'll add some limited ability to use the reserved colors. I know that's something definitely a lot of people are interested in. Are there any future seasons? Are the future seasons going to continue with the multi? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Will members get access to reserved colors at will? No, not necessarily, but maybe at some point we'll have some way of getting limited access to reserved colors. Have you ever been to Germany? I've never been to Germany. Have you ever been to any foreign country? I have actually never even left North America. I've been to Canada and Mexico. Those are foreign countries. And I've been to Hawaii, but that's still technically the United States. %69% of it's... Yeah, I have 69% of the achievements. Thanks. Do you plan on working on the mobile version of WarLight in the near future? The current app is kinda sucky. Yeah, there are problems with the mobile app, I know. Every time I use it, you know, I always say, wow, I gotta fix this, gotta fix that. You know, that's the curse of being a developer. I mean, I say that even on the desktop version. It's the curse of being a developer is nothing's ever perfect. There's always a million things you could improve. There are things I want to improve, but I don't know what the timeline is specifically. A way to see who is online from your friends would be awesome. Yeah, I agree. A global chat to advertise games would be great. Yeah. Let's see. Warzone 2015, 2016, 2017, 2070. I don't know. We'll see. Why doesn't the WarLight owner still have a profile picture yet? I don't know. I just never uploaded one. I don't even, yeah. Because it was never important to me. Any way to allow teammates to control their partner's land income if they get booted or have to leave suddenly? Well, one of the things about that is I don't want there to be any way. I never want booting to be advantageous. So I don't want, well, I guess that's not specifically what you're asking. One of the things some people have asked for before is the ability to say anytime someone gets booted, their lands just become their teammates' lands. And I don't like that because then there are edge cases where it's actually advantageous to get booted. And I don't want ever to be booted to be a good thing. I don't want people to use it as a game mechanic and try to get booted intentionally. But yeah, allowing teammates to control their partner's land income, that would be okay. We talked about that earlier in the stream actually. So once this is over, you can watch the video and we'll get more details on it. Why don't you put a banner for Gold Mine? It's kind of awesome passive cash for streamers. I don't know what that is. Sorry. He hacked his own site. Yeah, thank you. Will you ban yourself? I didn't hack. Okay, so in programming technology, a hack is something you do that is, it's like something you do that's slightly improper. Like the correct way of getting this ad working is just to fix the code so it updates the number correctly. But I hacked it in that I just typed in 100 viewers because I assumed we'd have something like 100 users. I mean, that's how many we had last time. So it's a different kind of hacking. Sorry, that's programming jargon. What aspect of WarLight are you most proud of? I don't know. I don't know if there's any specific aspect. I'm proud of the whole site for sure. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm proud of is that every time you play a multiplayer game, it's stored forever. Like you can go back to this past game section and you can see every multiplayer game you've ever played. I've been playing since 2008. So I can go back to this last page and I can see super old games that were played back in 2008. Ooh, there's a broken thumbnail there. I'm kind of proud of that. That took a lot of work for a lot of database work, and I have like an archive database that's super optimized. In the seasonal ladder, will the next few seasons have multi-tack and local deployment? I don't know. I haven't figured out the next few seasons yet. You can you feel free to post your suggestions if you have ideas for the seasonal ladder. Probably to the forum or something. I won't be able to look at them during the live stream. This will be saved as well. Yes. Yes, I'm recording it. I had to look to verify. Yes, I'm recording it. Let's bug Fizzer to create a profile picture. Thanks, Mercer. Warzone. Fizzer replies, we'll see. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe tomorrow it will suddenly be Warzone, and Fizzer will be like, surprise! I really wish you could have naves in WarLight? Like water providences, kinda? I don't know what that is. So ruling the season upgrade would be extremely advantageous. Oh, navies, of course. You want navies. You want like different kinds of units and stuff. I think WarLight is going to stay kind of a simple game. Who was the first player besides me? Well, the very first game ever played, I have it listed on my profile. There's this. Is between myself and my friend Anthony. And the reason he got the first game is because he was sitting next to me back when I first launched the server. He actually donated one of his servers back when I was first creating WarLight back in 2008. He was like, hey, why don't you host it on my server? I got a server sitting here. So I was like, all right, better than spending money. So we sat down together and I deployed the first version and we played the first game sitting in his office. That was the first game. So he was the first player besides me. You could just make a map where the sea... Whoa, it keeps moving. Where the sea was made up of territories. Sure. Yeah, there's some maps like that. Like, oh, what's it called? It's, crap, I won't be able to find it. But there's a map where the sea is basically a whole bunch of territories. When will you legalize same-sex WarLight marriage? It's not illegal. Maybe you can settle a debate for me. I usually make faster games with one-day boots for multi-day games and 1-minute boots for real times. I often get complaints and people blacklist me, often saying that I am cheating, even though they could have read the settings. Plus, I put fast game in the description. Yeah, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. People should read the boot time before they join the game and know what it is. I mean, one of the aspects that I've noticed is if somebody gets auto-booted, they end up blaming themselves. If somebody gets direct booted, they end up blaming the person that booted them. So, which I think is dumb because you should always blame yourself because it's everyone's responsibility to commit their orders before the clock hits 0. So, you can use auto-boot if you're able to. I think you can for your multi-day games, right? So you shouldn't have that problem for the multi-day ones. Yeah, I'm caught up in chat. All right. Since I'm caught up in chat, I'm going to play a game. And if anyone from chat enters it, if anyone from the stream enters, you got to close the chat so we can have a fair game. So I'm playing on these settings, which is local deployments on the modified medium Earth map. Let's see, there's a bunch of questions in the forum as well. I should get to these as long as we have time. Do you ever see real-time or 2v2 ladder templates change? Well, we kind of talked about that before. That's sure, the templates should change all the time. Templates should change occasionally, I should say. If someone beats the creator, that will be embarrassing. Well, someone beat me last time we played. Last time I played Shavenigan, and he's a really good player. Whoa, this is... my screen is smaller than I'm used to. I'll just move this off. Alright, let's see. So, Inside. I'm playing against Inside, level 58. If you're watching the chat, make sure you turn it off. Let's see. A way to see also team chat of all teams after game ends would be nice. Possibly. I mean, people chat and team chat not necessarily wanting everyone to be able to see it. Let's see. So in these settings, you tend to kind of want to go for a cluster, like maybe Australia and Antarctica together would be pretty powerful, because there's lots of bonuses that they could expand into. Maybe the other way around, though. Let's see. Let's see. Allow a turn to progress. Can you guys see this? Oh, crap. It's off the edge. Well, maybe I'll just switch back and forth or something. Yeah, you don't need to see the right side. Allow a turn to progress without moves if person doesn't move before the boot timer runs out. Yeah, so that's actually something we were talking about for a speed game. Like if you set up a game to be a speed game, one of the things that could happen is if the timer runs out, it can just submit the orders you've entered so far and continue. That doesn't necessarily need to just boot you out. It could just be like skip a turn type thing. So that's possible. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing here. I can't think that hard and read chat at the same time. Put Canada, Greenland, and West China. Yeah. Intimidator, I'm not listening to you anymore. Those are wastelanded territories. He's obviously joking. Although Canada, I mean, West China can still be useful as like a counter. Like if I don't get my 3 or 4, I will actually pick West China. Maybe not in this order. Maybe I'll do that as 6. It's very unlikely I'm going to get to my 6. Alright. I'll try it. See what happens. Oh crap. So that's one of the downsides of this game is sometimes they end up being long games. So let's since we're so spread out, we're not next to each other, this can end up being a long game. Let's see. When will the app be getting forums? I don't know for sure. It's definitely something I would like to add at some point. One of the reasons that it doesn't have forums yet is because it's slightly lower priority in that you can already use the forums on a mobile device, whereas the things that were the highest priority for the app are things that couldn't be done any other way. Because like you can't, because this is Flash, you can't do it on an app at all. Let's watch. EU Australia. Hey, Australia is a nice efficient bonus, especially if you double it up and get it 2 turns. Triple scanned. I didn't look at triple scanned. Maybe I should have noticed that. Timmy's a pro, would listen to him. I do that now, but it would be nice if it was in the app. Sure. Okay, we'll watch the star to see if it goes away. South Pole and South America. Skip a turn. What is WarLight? Uno? I would put 1 in Africa so you have a place away from the enemy. Yeah, in local deployments, you want to be clustered more. Let's see. So I can take that. No, I didn't plan my remainders. That's fine. I mean, I can still take the bonus. I can't take both these in the same turn, so I can just, I'd rather take South Pole than one of these. So I'll do that. Okay, I'm going to need to get South Pole pretty fast, and I can just barely take it. All right. And then, so these 5 armies I get from Australia can only be deployed in Australia. That's what the local deployments does. All right. Watch, the Uno skip a turn card is going to come to what? When will draw 2 be coming? I want to see a wild card. Are you the creator of the game? I just joined and created a Twitch account only to ask this question. Yes, I am the creator of WarLight. This is my game. I started back in 2008. And let's see, he's going to have a lot of power coming from Africa. So I'm kind of scared of that. I would like to get this online. I'd like to have a bigger stack here. I'm afraid he's going to hit me. When am I getting a card? I'm getting a reinforcement card next turn. I should be able to hold this. As long as I can hold this, I don't even feel like I have the need to attack him in Africa from Antarctica. I just want to hold it. And we might eventually battle in South America too, but for now I just want to hold where I'm at. Oh yeah, whatever get. Oh, I missed one. Let's see. I think this is Polish. I did just find out recently I'm 1/16 Polish, but I still can't read this. Sorry. He is the creator. Release new kind of trophies on the profile page. That would be awesome. What kind of trophies do you think there are? I mean, trophies are set up to be something that's for really exceptional circumstances. Let's see, if he plays his card, he can deploy 10 and attack me with 18. I get first move, so I'll be able to get those two guys in. I should be okay to not play my card. Oops, crap. Ah, alright. I think that'll be alright. Did that dude just triple pick North Africa? Yeah, he did. On local deployments, triple picking isn't so unusual. When you play, do you always click skip to end or show all or watch turn? I usually use either show all or watch turn. It depends how big the game is. If it's a small game like this, I would usually just watch it. Sometimes if I'm impatient, if I feel like I've already got the game won and I don't really care, I would just use show all. I don't usually use skip to end. I mean, I use skip. If I use show all, then I'll click skip to end, obviously to advance the game, but I usually don't. I usually want to watch it. Take West China. That has wastelands in it. I think that adding people to group chat in a game might be a good idea. Okay. I'm horrible at managing leftovers. What did I do wrong? Okay, so he didn't attack me. He just took the bonus. He probably hoped I'd blow my card here, and so that when he puts a big stack into Argentina, I wouldn't be ready for him. But I saved my card, so I'm okay. I should have watched it. I should use watch turn more often when I'm on stream. I kind of want to prepare. Let's see, I can take this without any additional income. Oops, just 3 here. And just 3 here. I can put like my 5 here. Like, he wouldn't expect that. I don't know how big of a stack he's coming with. I might want to stop him from taking South America. Like, taking Argentina might be useful, but I don't want to devote so many armies away from Novo that I end up losing it. I should probably start feeding armies down from Australia, because in a few turns we're going to get heavy down here. I'm going to need them. Let's watch. Okay, so he hit me. Wait, I was reading chat. 13 attacking armies died, 14 defending armies. So he actually killed one more than I lost one more army than him, which is okay. It's not too bad. It's not the end of the world. Did he play his card? He deployed 8s. No, he didn't even play his card for that. He might have played it earlier, but I doubt it. Send Australia's towards Asia to help. Well, Asia's doing all right. I mean, it's got these 2 bonuses, and it's just expanding, so. Obviously, I'm not going to take Middle East because he would have a double border on me. And I'm not going to take West China because it has 2 wastelands in it. Could take East China. Could also go up through Hawaii. But I think I have enough bonuses. I think I just need to hold out. I really want to save my card. Let's see. What do you think about diplomacy games? I answered that earlier in the chat. Earlier in the stream. Why aren't you taking Philippines? Never mind. Do you sometimes watch 1v1 ladder games? Sure, I do. If you open up the front in South America, you lose Antarctica for sure. Yeah, I agree. That's why I didn't do it. When is the app getting more features, tournament forums, etc.? We just talked about that. Wait until later in the turn. Last order type thing takes over. You should start feeding Australia way earlier. Instead of taking Indonesia? Okay, maybe. Do you ever visit the off-topic forums? And if so, what sort of threads do you enjoy the most? Sometimes I view them, but not that regularly. I guess I better use my card. I don't want to. I want to save it. I really like saving my card in local deployment because the card is so powerful because you can deploy those armies anywhere. I just gotta hope I can hold Antarctica. I have one more income than him. Of course, he could take South America, and that would no longer be true. He's not going to take Middle East. But if I can hold one more income than him for long enough, I should eventually win. Alright, we'll see what happens. Take Hawaii. Why? Do you like my rap threads? Do you think they represent WarLight well? I'm not familiar with them. I generally don't like rap. Okay, he killed 11 attacking, 13 defending. I lost 2 more than him this time. That's not good. Maybe those 2 should have been over here. I was afraid he'd do something sneaky and hit me from Argentina. Ant is doomed. I don't think Fizzer's going to win. Yeah, maybe. I might not win. Oh, wait. I didn't take a card? My bad. I forgot to issue an attack. Alright, I'm behind on cards. I'm distracted. I'm on stream. That's my excuse. Yeah, okay, you're right. Ant is doomed. So I should obviously blockade it. I don't need to blockade it right now. Yeah, okay, this is not going well. I can easily blockade it next turn. That's not an issue at all. I would like to stop him from taking South America. I doubt I can. It's highly unlikely that I'll be able to. But I could try. I mean, I could attack him with 15. It's not going to work. Have you ever seen General Numbnut's secret diary thread? No, I don't think I have. This is over. Yeah, it might be over. Maybe he won't defend. Maybe? What did I forget? Australia. Right. Not unless he attacks me first, or if he moves out in Oblivion. Did I play a delay card? I think I meant to play a delay card. I think I forgot to. Do more delay. Yeah, I think I meant to play a delay card. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay. Not playing a delay card was a critical mistake. He would have moved out. I might have got in. But he still doesn't have the bonus, so I might be able to break him. I should be able to break him. I don't need to delay that much. I mean, I don't need to blockade that much. It's too much blockade. Let's see. Everyone please vote in my poll. Where did you come up with Fizzer? Fizzer is just a modification of my real life name. I used to use my real life name in games, but then my last name in real life is a curse word in German. So I got all these weird messages from German players. Oh, he used his card. So I ended up changing it. He used his card and stopped me. And I was down a card piece because I forgot to issue an attack earlier. Man, I'm making so many mistakes this game. This is embarrassing. I forgot to take Taiwan like a long time ago, and that cost me a card piece, which prevented me from taking Argentina. And I forgot to delay my attack into Argentina. Either of those mistakes would have at least allowed me to take Argentina. Both of them combined was enough to stop me from taking it. He probably has leftovers coming in there. He's been feeding things from his West Africa bunch. So I'm going to order priority that. He could order priority it too. If we both order priority it, I will lose, but okay, I got Argentina. I can maintain only being down by 2 income, maybe for a little bit. I mean, he's got this 17 chasing me, and I won't be able to hold this forever, but I can hold it for a couple turns, maybe. He's going to get a card before me, too, because I screwed up. So I kind of want to run away from his stack down here, just so he doesn't hit me with it. He's going to be trying to whittle down my stack. So I'll run away. What? He attacked the blockade with 1? Why would he do that? Is he thinking he's going to whittle down the blockade and eventually take it out? That'd be pretty crazy. I think it's a big enough blockade that he wouldn't do that. Running to Venezuela seems pretty safe. That won't... It's not. He doesn't have any stacks. He can move into there. He'll probably move Argentina. The army is up to Brazil. I could even attack Argentina really late, but there's no reason to because I don't want to go back to Antarctica. Hawaii. Why not to Africa? You're talking about in Pakistan? I'm assuming he has a whole bunch of armies here in Middle East. And, I mean, I'm so far behind in this game that it's going to be tough. Any big offensive is... Yeah, see, that's why I did not go towards Africa from Iran. I would have just ran into that. It's much better to be defensive because he can't go around this very easily. He can't go around Pakistan. He wants to whittle down the blockade. Why would you delay by attacking? He's not actually trying to take the blockade. It's really annoying that the new history widget doesn't reach the current turn. It makes comparing past turns to current turn bothersome. Yeah, I know what you mean. We might be able to fix that at some point. I mean, basically the way it's set up now is that when you're in history mode, you're basically viewing history. You're not viewing the current game, you're viewing history. So it kind of makes some sense in some ways, but I hear you. I can also understand why it would be nice to be able to see the current turn even when you're in history mode, so you don't have to exit history mode and then go back into history mode. So yeah, I hear you. Alright, so this probably isn't going to work out, but you know, we got to try, right? Oh geez, what am I doing over here? Am I going to take West US? Probably should just move these the other direction to begin with. Well, no, we'll send these up, and then maybe the next ones won't. Actually, no. U.S. is getting enough armies. I need them over here. If he breaks the blockade, it is over, though. So it could be an interesting move, but it takes a lot of armies. Yeah, you're right. I don't know, though. I mean, if he takes the blockade, that's a whole lot of armies he spent on it. It might, by the time he has got enough armies to take the blockade, I might have expanded into a few more bonuses. So it might not necessarily be over, but it's probably over no matter what. Sometimes delaying by attacking is very useful, even when it doesn't get you the territory. Yeah. Would be funny if he went for it. Oh wow, maybe I was wrong. He was actually trying to whittle it down. When you skip forward a turn in history, it shows all the orders at once. Can you instead make it move to the first order? So yeah, when you skip around in history, it shows basically all the attacks that happen, so you can see all the arrows. And I like that, though. I think that's useful because it makes it easy to see what happened. I'm going in reverse order right now, but if you go in forward order, you can kind of skip through the game and really easily see what happened. If you just want to see individual orders, you can just click on the first order in the orders lists, and now you see the game at that point in time, and you can like click through it and see each individual order, or you can like shift click to highlight if you just want to see some specific things. Like you can be like, I just want to see all of his orders this turn. Let's just do that. Let's just look at those. You can do things like that. I think it's useful to be able to skip through history like this, and you can see like the blockade. Like you would never have known the blockade happened. Well, obviously you would have known. You would have seen it change to neutral. But like if somebody blockaded something or bombed something, or if you blockade it and it gets taken in the same turn, you wouldn't notice if it wasn't for the arrows and highlighted stuff. I think it's a useful feature, but I appreciate the feedback. If you don't like it, let me know why. Explain it. Red bow to Smede Middle East. If there was a checkbox to have arrows or not, I would appreciate it. Yeah, we can potentially talk about adding that. Let's see here. So yeah, he's going to eliminate me from South America. Not much I can do about that, considering he's got first move. I do have a stat coming in California. I could try to go reestablish dominance. There's a wasteland in Panama, which is really annoying. I'd have to go around that. It's not really more moves. It's just means I only have one entrance. Is he going to go around Pakistan? That'd take him a while. The hide orders thing really just hides this. So you can see if I uncheck, you can see if I hide orders and unhide orders, it hides it in the top right. That's really for performance. Like If you're in a really big game, like this is a small game, so it doesn't matter. But if you're in a really big game, history feature gets really slow. It can take a long time to like switch between the turns. So clicking the hide orders speeds it up a lot if you don't care about seeing this orders window. The history window being a widget instead of a window is a big improvement though. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy it. I call it the history window still, even though it's not a window anymore. Yeah, I agree. It's nice not having to drag that thing off anymore. There are no order priority cards. There are. I already played mine. Can you discuss the time to remove luck from strategic templates thread? Sure, maybe after this game. Why would he go around Pakistan? Well, because he can't go through Pakistan, because I have 26 there. Turn 8 or something should have taken Iran. I don't know what that would have done for me. Oh, because he has the Middle East bonus. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I should break the Middle East bonus. I shouldn't let him keep that. I have a double border on it. But at the same time, I don't want to move my armies out. I'll go ahead and move these guys through Central America, even though it's not going to work. He can see it coming a mile away. He can block me. He will counter that. I should not even be using these here. I'll just go in. We'll see what happens. I'm going to lose. If you press next turn button in history, hide orders box goes unchecked? Are you sure? I'll check that here in a second. No, I didn't miss the Wasteland Central America. I pointed it out earlier. I have to prevent him from taking South America, so I got to go through. I can always go through Cuba. It's the same number of jumps. Better move through territory and bonus you can potentially take later. Yeah, for sure, but I didn't want him to take Central America. Oh wow, he tried to juke me. I think that was a mistake. Like, he had first move. Like, he gets to move before me. Maybe he thought I had an order priority card. Oh, his first move was to Iran. He took Bolivia with 2. Then he put 22 into Colombia. Only 2 into Venezuela. He assumed I'd move from Venezuela to Colombia. See, I assumed that he had first move, so I'm like, well, there's no point. He's just going to crush Venezuela first move. He wasn't that concerned about it though. He was more worried about protecting the Middle East, which I find strange. I thought he'd want to eliminate me for sure from South America. Well, now I have first move and a priority card and a reinforcement card. I should really calculate exactly how many armies I need to send here, but since I'm on stream, I'm being lazy. Okay, this guy is second. I'm probably going to lose Southeast Asia. I can try attacking Afghanistan, just second. Oh, did I forget to move these guys? Oh, no, I didn't forget to move them last time. Let's see. Let's see, would it be against the rules to reverse engineer the WarLight protocol and build an AI bot that plays games? Yes, it's against the rules to reverse engineer the WarLight protocol. But if you just want to build an AI bot that plays games, you should go check out theaigames.com. They actually have a contests where you can build a WarLight AI and compete against other WarLight AIs. So if you're interested in building an AI, you should go do that. You don't need to do it on WarLight's site. You can go do it right here, the WarLight AI Challenge. Well, he didn't attack me first. He did defend Afghanistan. I should have not even attacked. It's obvious. He gets 4 right there, so that was never going to work. I thought he might maybe pile everything in Iran and try to hit me first move, but that wasn't going to work either because I used my first move in Brazil, so yeah. When I saw him transfer from Afghan to Iran, my heart dropped to my scrotum. Yeah, it would have been pretty bad. I think I was looking at chat when that happened, so I didn't. Iran could get you to Europe. Yeah, Europe is a problem now too. This is just problem after problem. It's not looking good. Thrived in South America, but crippled Southeast Asia. Could you add a button to the chat window to view all older chat from this turn? Oh yeah, you're talking about really big games that have tons of chat. Yeah, I agree that would be a useful feature. You should add it to user voice. Alright, I think it's time to surrender. Good game inside. He was just ahead on armies. Seeing all discussion for the current turn in a team game is really common and important. Yeah, I hear you. Older Chad should be displayed. Older chat should be displayed progressively. Yeah, kind of like on a website that has infinite scroll. As you scroll down, it kind of loads. Something like that would probably be ideal. Chat games have to be made every so often because you can't load them. Can this be fixed? Well, I'm kind of hoping not that chat games will eventually become a thing of the past, because chat games aren't really meant to be chat rooms. Like, I'd like to have a chat room feature for chat rooms and not use games for chat rooms. So the whole mail system was one attempt at that, at least a partial attempt. You can make a mail thread, you can invite a bunch of people to it, and you can all talk. And it works a little bit better. It works better than chat games in some ways because it like flashes the icon and it exists forever, whereas games eventually have to be archived and deleted or whatever. It's also worse in some ways, like you can't add and remove people in the middle of the game, or in the middle. You can't add, you have to select all the people you want to mail when you create the mail thread. Whereas with games, you can add and remove people at will. So I know there are some downsides to it, but I'd be interested in hearing those people, you guys that use chat games, let me know why specifically you use chat games over mail threads. I always read your advice 3 turns late. Sorry. There's also Twitch is delayed. You know, Twitch has a delay. So, plus I'm behind on chat. So yeah, sorry. You can't use the whole community knowledge to beat poor guy. Yeah. Go for West China. He won't expect that. It will win you the game. Well, it's light fog, so if I start going for West China, they'll know immediately. Can you create chat rooms for clans? We talked about that a little bit earlier. If we had a chat room system, clans is definitely one use of it. Can you ban Hassan from your channel? It's the 3rd or 4th stream he is spamming. He sent like 3 messages. But I do remember, I think he was the same guy that was annoying us last time. If he keeps it up, yeah, I will. Let's see, there's some more questions here. If you guys have any more questions, you can post them in the chat. Listening together with my girlfriend, she says you give us a lot of, she says you really give us a lot of time. Great service. Good, great. What musical genre would you want for your WarLight soundtrack? I'd listen to the music that currently has and something like that. Why do you hurt me? If you can link a bloody open games page, do the same for my games. Yeah, well, my games, I mean, part of the motivation for making the open games page was you have to scroll down so far to get to open games. But with my games, it's already right at the top. So I don't see why you'd need an open games page separate from the dashboard. I mean, it's already right here. It doesn't seem as big of a need. I didn't see your response to my question about ladder templates changing. I mean, like maps and such. Yeah, I mean, ladder template. In the past, we've always done ladder template changes by vote. Let's see if I can make sure this is on. Oops, I clicked on it. I didn't mean to click on it. There's the possibility of maybe doing ladder changes again in the future, but I don't know of any specifically right now. Wait, where did I leave off? We're using chat games because you can add and remove players, and you can delete old history. In message and clan forms, you can't delete that. That's true. You can't delete mail. After a while, it gets messy. Okay, that's good. Good feedback. Too bad Fizzer the OST is going to be rap. If you plan on doing these AMAs semi-regularly, you should set up moderators for your Twitch channel. Sure. How do I make people a moderator? OP user. Overpowered. Yeah. Put the Nyan Cat theme as repeat as the soundtrack. Fancy a game against a level 2? Not right now, but I don't care what level you are. I'll play people if you want to play, as long as it's multi-day. I may be slow because I'm busy working on WarLight. A lot of people want a modified medium earth for a 1v1 ladder and 2 more picks for 2v2 ladder. I'm definitely in favor of modified medium earth over medium earth. I mean, it's almost the identical map. It's just a couple minor improvements. 2 more picks for 2v2 ladder. I feel like that's too much, but it's possible. Tournaments with more than 1v1 games. You can have tournaments with 2v2 or 3v3 or 1v1v1. You can do FFA tournaments and team tournaments, so I don't know what you mean when you're asking about tournaments with more than 1v1 games. Shortest job interview ever. Damn, I don't know why Fizzer has an issue with hiring people. Well, we barely even make enough money to support me, so we're not really hiring people right now. He should just straight... Alright, let's go over some more of these questions. Will you do this regularly, once a month, after new update, etc.? Sure, I mean, if there's enough interest in it. Recently, I mean, the last 2 of them have both been after a new update. I think that's a good way of doing it, at least for now. I mean, I can at least start off the stream by highlighting what's new in the update, even though this previous update wasn't a very big one. It was mostly a bug fix update. There's a lot of repeat questions. Any plan to deal with that? I mean, I'll try not to repeat answers too many times. Obviously, it's boring for me to repeat the same answer over and over, but I know some people are going to watch the whole thing, so I don't want to repeat too much. If they ask repeat questions, we can just point them to the stream. If it's more than, like, you know, if I have to repeat myself more than twice, I might just start telling people to go watch the stream. I like how when I join a live stream and the move changes. Watch some of your and KCS Craig's vids. They're pretty nice. Yeah. Mythonia and KCS Craig have a YouTube series of WarLight, and it's really good. It's probably the best YouTube Let's Play in existence, so you guys should all watch it. There's a lot of ideas in this thread. Okay, I'll get to those later. It's cool to know some numbers that you have available. How many games are created each day? How many people join per day? How many people paid for a membership? How many total members? Yeah, I still don't have those numbers. Sorry. But I don't know if I want to reveal exact numbers anyway. What is your favorite map? We already talked about that. Does anyone? What is your favorite template? Well, the template I've been enjoying the most is the one we just played, local deployments. I don't know why. I find it fun having the local deployments. I think are fun because you get the armies in the area, so you have like regional battles. A lot of the times you have like you can visualize you have power in one area, but you're weak in another area, and I don't know. I find that really fun. Does anyone have every achievement? Please release full lists. I don't believe anybody does. I mean, we looked at Timinator earlier, who had like 96%. You can answer this yourself just by going and looking at the really active players and seeing what percentage they have. Like you have 78%. You got to work on that. Are there a chance for advanced filters for like past games, players, settings, cards, map, FFA, result? I'd love that. Yeah, possibly someday. You should add user voice. Be specific on what you want. Like the one you linked, I think it listed a whole bunch of stuff, and some of it got done. Share one piece of trivia that even oldest players don't know. I'd have to think about that. Regarding chat, I usually use team chat largely for team notes about the game. Like there's an enemy in Australia. I really miss that functionality in 1v1. Yeah, you want something like a notepad. I've heard that feature request before too. You should again, user voice. And there's no reason not to have it other than time. It's just got to get balanced with everything else. You think being a mod is a joke? You could just put a percentage. Yeah, something like maybe less than 5% of players are members. I think it's like 3 to 4%, something like that. Are you expecting to do some changes to the ladders? Yeah, we've already talked about that many times. Do you plan on creating some kind of diplomacy, not only for diplomacy players? Again, user voice it. Where's your timeline for further transfers in HTML5? And does this include optimization of the dashboard? Eventually, we'd like to have the site be flash free, but I don't have any timeline on that. There's still a whole bunch of work that would have to be done. How close are you to be able to play the running cost of the site plus a decent income for yourself? We are. Just barely. All possible achievements. You want a list of all possible achievements. I mean, in my opinion, the most fun way of doing achievements is when they just pop up. Like you're just playing the game normally, and all of a sudden in the top right corner, it's like, oh, hey, you did something special. You took an army. Your 2 armies killed 2 armies, which is a rare achievement. I don't find it to be that much fun to like have a big list of achievements and go try to unlock them all. I mean, I know some people are completionists. I'm a completionist sometimes when I play games I really like. And that's why I think I show like 10 achievements that you haven't unlocked. I do it that way so it's not overwhelming. I just show you 10 rather than showing you everything you haven't unlocked. And once you do one of those 10, it just gets replaced with another one that shows you. I'm pretty sure you can get a list of all the achievements. I think it's already been posted to the forums. Some of the people that have like, in the 90% range, if you combine everything they've unlocked with the 10 it's showing, they have a list of everything. I think Tim and Air posted it in the Twitch chat earlier, but it's on the forum. You can go find it. Let's see. Reason behind removing my games to open games. We already talked about that. My favorite dinosaur. I don't know. Maybe a pterodactyl because they can fly. I haven't given that much thought. Do you like anime? I never got into anime. I've had a bunch of friends that liked anime. I've never really given it a fair shot, though. Maybe someday I'll give it a fair shot and I'll get into it. What's your favorite movie genre? I don't know. I don't watch that many movies. I watch a lot more TV shows than movies. I normally only watch TV when I'm on my treadmill. Let's see. The leg is real. Hey, listen. What are people talking about? Pterodactyl's not a dinosaur, really? What is it? Any chance to have a team seasonal ladders? No plans for that right now. but anything's possible. Last new ladder was 1 year, half ago. Do you plan to add a new ladder soon? If yes, will it be 3v3 or FFA? Maybe. We'll see. Stay tuned. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it. I want to know if there's any chance of adding some. We already talked about clan ladder. We already talked about that. We already talked about that. Still skipping the question about best of X tournaments. I don't remember seeing that question. Was that in chat or something? Why can you only play Rise of Rome for 475 coins, and why can't you make a coin game with an open seat? That is something we're thinking about adding at some point, is the ability to make your own settings for coin games, like just make an arbitrary coin game and just make it open. There's a lot of restrictions, stuff we have to work out, and we have to go work out all the details. But that's something we've been wanting to add for a while. The reason Rise of Rome is 475 minimum, I mean, we set up all the coin templates, and we basically, one of the things we looked at with a coin template is how long does it take to play these games? Because we want, basically the quicker games should be cheaper, and the games that take longer to play should be more expensive. That's basically generally how we set it up. Would you like to join my Fizzer Fight Me in 1v1 gang? I don't know. I don't want to join any gangs. Name your top favorite WarLight players. I can't name favorites. You guys are like my children. You're all equal. I posted here about whether you will create the ability to create best of X game tournaments, like NBA playoffs. As I said before, I'm not an NBA fan. I never got into the NBA, so I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember what the NBA playoffs are. I thought they were just like single elimination type tournaments. Like, I mean, obviously each series they play like a round of 5 or 7 or whatever, but I'm not sure what you mean by best of X game tournaments. I'm sounding tired. I probably just need a drink of water. Best player you've ever played against? I don't know if I can name one. I played against a lot of good players. Like, in the last stream I played against Shavanigan. He usually beats me. I know Timinator knocked me out of a lot of the old WGL tournaments we played. I was only able to win one of the WGL tournaments. Why is Fizzer's chat so far behind mine? Twitch has a delay. I'd rather have both options available rather than just the dashboard. Well, I mean, from a new player's perspective, it doesn't make sense to have multiple ways to do one thing. We want to have just one way of doing it that is perfect, that is the best way. So I'd ask you why the new one is not meeting your needs. Do you like NBA? I don't know why we keep talking about the NBA. Is that popular right now for some reason? I mean, the NFL is just starting up. Is this like NBA finals time or something? I never really got into the NBA. As we talked about earlier in the stream, I don't even have a local NBA team anymore. The Seattle Supersonics left. Best of X would be, say, best of 5, where someone needs to win 3 games to advance. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's basically what I was talking about. Yeah, it's a possibility. Again, it's just another feature. You can throw it on user voice. Swiss tournament system would be cool. Fixed number of rounds, no matter of number of players. Yeah, I've heard of that. I looked it up once. I hear Troll is a legend. Too bad he doesn't play anymore. Troll is one of my good real-life friends. I've been playing games with him since long before WarLight existed. He made the original Europe map. He does play. I'm still. I just finished a game with him. He doesn't play a lot, but he plays time to time. He's in multi-day games that he plays like once every month. Rex gets skipped. What did I skip? I don't see anything by someone named Rex. Do you consider adding diplomacy options again? We talked about that already. You can watch the video after it's over. Fizzer chat is also behind on mine, yet some players also seem to react to things that haven't been said for me yet. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Twitch is more delayed for some people than others? I'm just guessing. What are your thoughts on the Miami Heat? I know it's an NBA team. I don't know anything beyond that. Do you like the Houston Texans? Well, I live in Seattle, so I root for the Seahawks. We had a good game against the Texans last year or 2 years ago, something like that. Somebody lost a shoe or something in that game. Let's see. I don't know. Doesn't really answer the question. Hitler or Stalin? I don't know. Somebody asked about GUI's suggestion. I haven't gone over that yet, though. What would you do if a million people started playing WarLight overnight? Honestly, I would be probably working full-time just to keep the servers working if 1 million people started playing overnight. It takes a lot of work to keep the servers working. If there's a big influx of people, I have to scramble to start up more servers, increase the capacity, move the database over to a more powerful machine. All the servers are like virtual machines. They're like in a cloud on Amazon's data centers. So I can add more machines. I still got to do it. And then I'm sure if 1 million people started playing overnights, that things would break that I didn't expect, and I'd be working to fix it. Will my games return to the multiplayer menu? Probably not. I mean, I don't see why it should be, because I don't see why it needs to be its own tab, because when you click on multiplayer, you just have your My Games right here. So I don't see why it needs to be a separate tab. I don't see why we should require people to click an additional time to get there, like you used to have to. There's too much unneeded information on the main dashboard screen. Yeah, I hear you. There is unneeded information. Try it out for a while, get used to it. Once you're used to it, I suspect that it won't be a big deal. Like, you just learn to ignore this other stuff. Will I get any legacy? I don't know what that means. What do you think about passive AI, which wouldn't expand, but just deploys? That's something we've talked about before. That would be pretty easy to add, because it's just a flag for the AI to tell it not to make attacks. So that's a possibility. You should add it to user voice. What would be your reaction if WarLight got very big, similar to Minecraft? That's kind of similar to what we talked about earlier. But my reaction first would be to make sure the servers are scaling. Second would be, I'd be proud. I'd be glad people are enjoying it. If people like the game, sure. I'd be cool to have it be bigger. The stream just refreshed on my screen. Hopefully it's still working for you guys. Let's see. I know as much about an NBA team as an American. Yeah, not everyone's into sports. Already asked about GUI suggestion. Let's see, I don't know what NBA stood for less than a year ago. Yeah, it's an American thing. If you're not in the US, you probably haven't heard of it. I just refreshed and went forward a minute. He's currently viewing posts on his own Twitch promotional page. I think he's going to go. To answer your question, I feel is while the dashboard is the overall goal, I'd rather use something that felt a lot more finished and fluid and go to specific pages in order to do other things. I guess it's a thing older players like more than the dashboard. I guess the trade-off could be that older players could keep the older options, and the old option can be kept until the dashboard is entirely finished. Yeah, I hear you. I'd say try it out for a bit, try it out for a week. If you still don't like it after a week, remind me again, because a lot of the times it's just hard to get used to something. I know it sucks whenever you change UI, it's always painful. But I think a lot of times what I see is people revolt when they first see that UI change, but once they get used to it for like a week, then they realize that it's okay, it's not so bad. And if it's still bad after a week, let me know. And Which country is better, communist Russia or modern Russia? I don't know any. I don't know enough about Russia to answer that. Sorry. I understand that there needs to be a happy medium. Does this game have any advertisement? I am playing for years, and no matter how often I search for strategy games and world dominations, I never see WarLight in Google or nowhere. For real, I've never seen this game anywhere. It's true. WarLight is a small game. You tend to get high rankings on these things when you're popular. So hopefully over time that will get better. Perhaps there could be an option to customize which boxes you want to see. Sure, given infinite time. Is it true that the AI has never changed since a very early release? If so, why? It's mostly true. There have been very, very minor changes, like things like when the AI today will never play a card if it has a human teammate. Whereas the very first AI that ever existed would actually take your cards from you. They'd be like, I see this reinforcement card and I want to take this bonus. I'm just going to take the card. And it's kind of dumb if you're tamed with an AI to have it take your reinforcement card from you. That was fixed. So the AI will never play cards when he teamed with a human teammate unless it has to. Unless like you must play a card. But that's a rare situation. Mainly the reason why the AI... I don't want to make incremental changes to the AI. Is because a lot of people work really hard to get their single player scores down. So like it records how fast you beat each level in single player. And if we change the AI, it's going to pretty much invalidate everyone's scores. So I kind of been a little resistant to changing it for that reason. I know some people have worked really hard to get their scores low, and just invalidating that would be kind of a mean thing to do to those people. It still could change at some point, probably if we overhaul the single player section. That would be a good time to change the AI. Some people are talking sports. What about AFC born? I don't know. I don't even know what sport that is. Would you add more ladder statistics and tables like most days as number one, most games won in a row, most games total, and more? I think those all be cool things. It's just prioritization again. It's hard to prioritize. I mean, this is the kind of thing that really like the top ladder players are interested in because they want to boost their ego. So this is the kind of feature that you can spend time on, but really the only people that are going to be really happy with it are the people are like the top 0.1% of users. So it's hard to prioritize features that are for so few people when you know features it's competing with can affect 100% of the users. I actually like the new dashboard. It's helpful to have everything in one place. Good, I'm glad you like it. It's more useful for me than the older tabs. Can we return the option to auto give orders for a turn? Like the AI will decide for one turn, and then to save time into huge games, the enemy just doesn't surrender. You can kind of do that now with the feature. You can set it up so like the AI takes over for you, and then you can take back control from the AI. But there are some limitations. For one thing, you can only do that a finite number of times per game. But the game creator can also configure that. So you can set it to like 1,000 or something. So yeah, you can kind of do something like that now. It's a little wonky, but you can kind of set it up. If you want something more than that, you should add to user voice. The dashboard is still bad after a month. The main issue is that I hate some of the details, but if you could remove some or make it customizable just a bit with a tick box maybe. What issues do you hate? Goat throwing is the best sport. Have you ever played Civilization? Yeah, I've spent an insane number of hours playing the Civilization games. Insane. I don't even know how long I've spent playing Civilization, but yeah, I've been in... Civilization is the one game I've ever played in my entire life that I get so into it that I forget to eat. Was there never an idea of making a new single-player section, more complex tutorial? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. You can review the stream once it's over and you can see my comments on it. Regarding the dashboard UI, the UI clutter bothers me. The detail of Flash is an improvement, though. They kind of balance. Or the death of Flash. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Is your AI hard-coded into the game or modular? It is hard-coded. If it's modular, it'd be cool to have multiple AI agent behavior in order to keep the current AI agent. Yeah, I agree. I think it would be really cool to have multiple AIs. You could like choose from them. So we could have the existing levels keep using the current AI and other ones using the other one, using some other AI. You could even like mix them in a game, or you could like face one AI against another AI, and you could do, there's all sorts of things you could do with the AI. I agree that would be really cool, but just prioritization. Though I do like the extra info on some of the forum posts, so it's a nice feature. But no one likes to be forced to see things that he doesn't like and take space of things he likes. Yeah, I hear you. I agree. I mean, if you don't like something on the right column, you should just be able to hopefully tune it out. Like, human beings are really good at selective visualization. Like, you can just, if something's in the same place every time, you just stop reading it. That's why they call it, and with advertisements that happens a lot, and they call it ad blindness, where people just learn to stop looking at the ads. And sites that make their money from ads spend a lot of time and effort on trying to combat ad blindness. And you know what happens when they do that. That's when they start throwing ads in your face, and it gets really annoying. I try not to do that. I try to keep the ads really subdued. Nothing beats you, old Highland. Okay. Did Gandhi nuke you? I'm sure Gandhi has nuked me before. I've played enough games. I've had everything happen in Civilization. Have you played Europa Universals? I think I played it once. I haven't gotten into it. Yes, the one more turn disorder. There was like a comedy video made about that. He completed his nuke, always one turn before me, and then nuked the city where I build my own. Can you replace the symbol on the surrendered button with the French flag? I don't think that would be very nice. Let's see, I just bought a Nokia Windows phone and planning anything planned about a Windows app. That would be really nice. I know his vote has been set up. Yeah, I know. So it took like 2 years to add WarLight to iOS and Android. It was a huge deal. And adding a Windows Phone app would, I mean, again, there's no downside to it other than time, and it would probably take a lot of time. So it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. But in an ideal world, if I had infinite resources, sure, I'd do it. I have 7 pennies and a rock. How do I become a WarLight investor? Good luck with that. Are you planning to make custom scenario creating easier? And what I'd ask what way you want it to be easier. I didn't think it was especially difficult. Can you design a World War II map and make Mother Russia the best place to start? Anyone can design a map. You don't need me to do that. Can you join the game that says 1v1 me, bro? I want to know what it is. I'll show you the settings at least. It's... I don't know. There you go. Now you've seen what it is. There you go. Congratulations. Did Latnox ask about the tournament icon bug he posted about on the forums? No, he did not ask. In the next Clan League A, I guess French will be the main nation. Yeah, I think that was an error on his own machine with something he had running, not a bug in WarLight. How MLG am I? I don't know what MLG stands for. Do players make cards or do you? Players can't make their own cards, like the bomb card and the abandoned card and stuff. I make those. Players can customize them, like they can set settings and determine how often they appear, and for a lot of cards they can determine how powerful they are. Let's see, a quick switch to change colors team-wide would be a great use. Yeah, I know what you're saying. For a 10v10 game, it's tough. The thing I'll point out that some people might not know. You can click on the word team where it says Team A. If you click on Team A, it will highlight everyone in that team. That's a little bit useful. It's still not perfect, especially if you have lots of people and stuff, but it can help. You can like highlight back and forth between the teams. What would the time travel card have been? Well, we hinted about a time travel card on April Fool's, but it was just a joke. There's no time travel card. You could do a time travel card, like maybe every time you played it, the game rewound to the previous turn. I mean, that's actually something the WarLight engine could be done because we have a full history of the game. And, you know, a lot of games you can't do that because, you know, once it happens, it's just happened. It doesn't remember what the game looked like 10 minutes ago, but I don't know, maybe? Just throwing it out there. Did anyone ask Fizzer if he's going to add a section for custom ladders and leagues? It would be nice to have custom ladders highlighted in things like the Clan League. So we talked about that in the last stream. The only custom ladder I'm aware of that's active right now is this random bonuses ladder. So it's basically highlighted on the dashboard here just as a notable forum post. So there's that. I don't know of any others that are active right now. There's a couple others. There's like a real-time one, but it's dead. It hasn't had games in months. And then there's like a Dutch one or something, but that's not really appropriate to highlight if it's Dutch only because most of WarLight's audience is not Dutch. So as far as I know, the only custom ladder is already highlighted. It's for the pros, not really interesting. Wait. Major Gaming League. Major League Gamer. Okay. Sorry, I'm not up with the lingo. I don't know. I still don't know what it is. What about making an option to give every slot a constant color and not the player color? I don't know why you'd want to do that. I'd want to ask. I'd ask why you'd want that. I mean, most players like to play as their own color. They like to express their individuality. I'm playing a game on it. Yes, not sure it's creating games. Let's see. Can you make some attacks to take turns to happen? For example, when you attack from Gibraltar to England, it'll take 3 turns for your troop to reach there, and they will be unavailable. And that's an interesting idea. I don't think I've actually heard that before in the context of WarLight. I've seen other games that do things like that. It might just be too much complexity for WarLight. At its core, it's a simple game. But it's an interesting idea. Unless I've somehow been forced to leave, I haven't been given a game for the last few months in the multi-day ladder. Which ladder are you talking about? Oh, he's talking about the custom ladder. If you don't join a game, it removes you from ladder. Yeah, go to that custom ladders website and you can check on the status there, I assume. As long as you know first turn bonus, counterpick, and good game. Where is the My Games tab? We've talked about that a few times already. It's basically in the dashboard now. You can go back and watch the video recording to see if you want more extended discussion on it. Have fun, good game, and get wrecked, mate, are of course the most important. Never done the real-time one, but the Dutch and the one in Notable are still running. Don't know about real-time. Can I have the rights to WarLights? I don't know what rights you want, but no, you can't have them. Could you fix Tournament 6301? Is that old broken real-time tournament? Oh crap. this is a... Yeah, this is a broken tournament from a long time ago. Some reason this tournament broke, and this is in 2013. It was a real-time tournament, and it broke. And I didn't bother fixing it because it's like, well, if I fix it, everyone's just going to get booted because the people that were playing it are long gone. I should just delete it. Or I could change it to multi-day. I could change it to multi-day and then fix it, and then you could actually finish it. Is the AI always working with the same algorithm or 3 different flavors of AI not transparent to the players? Yeah, there's just one algorithm. They all work the same. There's some randomness in the AI though, so you may see it do different things, and it's not always predictable. I can understand why some people think there might be different flavors, but there aren't different flavors. It's one thing. Let's see, has Ale just reached level 65? Any thoughts on new unlockables for higher level players? Well, the levels go infinitely, so there's always going to be some levels that don't have unlockables. The unlockables basically stop at level 53, and then the rest of it is just for ego and color priority and name changes. So you're never going to have the ability to have levels, rewards for every level. But I will keep it in mind. In the future, I might think of something that I want to add for high-level players. It's possible. Let's see, would you consider creating different AI settings, like defensive, peaceful? Yeah, we kind of talked about that before. It's possible. How hard would it be to implement highlighting a territory or bonus that you're currently in for the AI to take? I never really was a big fan of the idea of commanding your AI. I mean, some people have taken to the extreme and say they want to completely control their AI. They're like, attack here, deploy here, play this card. I think that's too much. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of the AI. The AI isn't just an alternate player. I mean, the problem is if you allow teammates to control their AI, then you basically have to. Because if you don't give the AI orders, you're at a huge disadvantage when you're playing against someone who is giving their AI orders. So it's almost one of those, it's almost adding a burden in my mind. Like, you have to do it to stay competitive, and so that kind of defeats the purpose of even having an AI, if that makes sense. Let's see. Why local reinforcement doesn't work with super bonuses? Okay, yeah, local deployment doesn't work with when you have bonuses that overlap, and that's a programming issue. I originally, when I went to make local deployment, I wanted to support that, but it got really tricky. There was all these weird situations where, like, if you deploy to one territory that's in 2 bonuses, it needs to know which bonus to basically allocate your armies to. And unless it like pops up a question and asks you, there's no real way it can know in all cases. I tried to come up with an algorithm to make it like decide for you, and then maybe if you try to deploy later, it could like move them around and like try to fix it for you. But it got really complicated, and I couldn't get the logic working right in all cases. Like, it worked in 90% of the cases, but then there were all these edge cases where it did something weird, and I couldn't get it working right. So I eventually had to drop it and just say, okay, no local deployment and overlapping bonuses. You just don't support that. It may be theoretically possible to fix it still someday. So you can create a user voice for it if you want. I think there's already one you can vote for. What do you think you got the most wrong when making WarLight? Let's see. I don't know exactly. There's certainly a lot of things that I would have done differently, but I mean, that's true of every project ever. I mean, when I first started making WarLight, I wasn't even considering it as like my job. I was just making it as a hobby. Like, I just wanted to play a few games with my friends, and then I thought that was going to be it. Like, I was just going to shut down and do something else. But I just had so much fun with it. I just kept adding to it, and it just kept growing, and more people kept playing. and it just kept taking off. So if you ask me what I did wrong, there were a lot of decisions I made early on because I was in a different mind frame. There's parts of the code that I would have used an off-the-shelf. I could have used an off-the-shelf component for, but instead I wrote it myself because I have fun doing that kind of stuff. So there's things like that. Obviously I wrote against Silverlight when I first started. That's where it got its name from. And Silverlight was a Microsoft plugin that is pretty much dead or dying now. So that was certainly a mistake. But I mean, again, at the time it was just for my friends, and my friends didn't mind installing Silverlight, so it wasn't a big deal at the time. Let's see. It uses the same province system. How about more single-player templates? Sure, that is something I talked about earlier on the stream. More single-player templates is something that I would be all for. And that's something you guys can make too. If you guys want to make single-player templates, send them to me. I'd appreciate it. And there's a good chance if you make a really good one, we can put it in the game eventually. You found the website from Congregate. Might attract people from, yeah. Congregate, I launched a version of WarLight on Congregate a long time ago, and a lot of people found the game through there. How do you make maps? So if you go to the Help tab, there's a link right here. How can I make my own map? Just click on that, and it'll teach you how. Why does the AI take new territory before taking a bonus? It's true the AI prefers to expand. They like to take neutrals. It's just the way I coded it. I think the logic was you want it to make sure it takes all available bonus. Basically, it weights all the bonuses that it could take. And if a bonus has an enemy in it, then it makes it slightly less likely to go for it, because the logic is that a bonus with all neutrals, it's surely going to be able to take, whereas a bonus with an enemy in it, it's going to be harder because that enemy might decide to deploy armies there and stuff. So it has a slight negative weight to that bonus if it has opponents in it. So that's why it ends up preferring neutrals. I once saw WarLight on some browser game website, which is where I first found it. It might have been Congregate, can't remember. Yeah, I did post it to a whole bunch of sites back. I made a version that was just the single player version and just spammed it all over the internet, basically. I actually just posted it to one place that was a distributor site, and that distributor site spammed it all over the internet. I'm pretty sure that local deployment allocation thing is possible if you sit down and work it out. Yeah, I think so too. I spent a couple days on it and couldn't quite get it working right, so I ended up dropping it. In a game with automatic picks, does the algorithm just randomly pick from the list of territories? Yes. List of territories that are available by the distribution. You should look at the distribution to see what's available, but then from what's in the distribution, it's random. I was disappointed when you declared you weren't going to implement anonymous games. I still think it's a feature that makes sense. People play differently when they know who they are playing against. Why were you so against it despite it having such a high user voice votes? Yeah, so anonymous games is the feature that allows you to play anonymously. Basically, participants are not known until the game ends. So I can definitely see why that would be useful, because I know I get targeted in games when I'm playing because, people see that little WarLight creator tagline on me and they target me. One of the problems with it is it's technical, because it's hard. There's lots of things in the code that pass player IDs around and stuff like that. And if you really wanted to hide it from everyone, you'd have to change everything so that it's completely anonymous, which could be done. It would be a lot of work. And part of the problem too is I feel it's kind of anti-community. If you don't know who you're playing against, then you're less likely to develop friendships. I mean, I understand it's more targeted. People are thinking about it more in areas where you already know the people you're playing against, in which case it's not a big deal. But if you add it, it's going to get abused. It's going to be used in open games too. And if you never know who you're playing against and you haven't met anyone, it's harder to meet people. It's harder to see people's clans. I mean, you won't be able to see their clan, and you won't be able to, it feels just anti-community a little bit, if that makes sense. Maybe you could make like a YouTube vid on the help tab for map making. I think there is one. You should go search YouTube for it. You'll probably find it. I found WarLight on Armor Games, but it was a demo. Yeah, it was just the single player version. I don't know if I'd call it a demo. It's the entire single player version of what was on both Congregate and Armor Games. Just no multiplayer. Although I later added multiplayer to Congregate, but that one didn't do so well. It was the single player one that was really successful. Are there any plans to improve the search feature when searching for a person's username to add them to your friends list? At the moment, I think it only gives you the option to search if you are invited them to a game. Yeah, I agree. The way I usually do it, if you go to the coin game invite screen, you can just click search by name. You can search for like River or whatever. You can do it through the create game function too. I usually use this one because you don't have to load Flash, so it's a little bit faster. But yeah, I agree. It would be nice to have a search somewhere outside of this as well. I often see people spending a long time in the off-topic forum discussing in length many different topics. And I always thought it was so weird that they do so in WarLight forums of all places. Why do you think they do it? Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's just a community of people that have one thing in common, which is that they all like WarLight. So I think it's basically a community. I think it's cool. I think it's cool people use the WarLight forums for non-WarLight related things. It's just a community. I can't remember where I found WarLight. All I know is I played it, loved it, forgot about it, remembered the name, and started playing it. Ever since then, homelessness have taken me over. Cool. I'm glad you enjoy it. I signed up to Twitch to ask me how old I am. I'm 33. A way to fix the AI problem is to be able to give basic teamwork instruction, like 3 options maximum. Yeah, you could. It's certainly possible. It eliminates the tedium of having to give extensive orders I was talking about before. I still don't think it's really that important. I mean, AI is never going to be as smart as a human, so why not just play with humans? Will there ever be a chance that during games people can be added to team chats during games? Like someone that's not in that game, you want to add them, or you want to like make a dynamic team chat. You want to make dynamic teams, kind of like diplomacy games where you're forming a team and then you have a chat for that team, and then you kick people out, add people to it. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Maybe someday. Any plans to add to the game chat, like the option to send chat in italics, bolded color letters, and so on, because why not? Given infinite time, sure. It's just prioritizing it with everything else. I'm curious what makes a map pretty in the achievements list. You're talking about there's an achievement for like making a beautiful map. That was something I added just to reward people who make really exceptional maps. The rule of thumb I go on that trophy is, it's actually not an achievement, I should be calling it a trophy. Because achievements are designed so that you could get them all. You could go through and knock them all off. Whereas trophies are really special things that are like outside the realm of achievements. The criteria I use for the beautiful map trophy is it one of the top 5 maps on the entire site at the point at which that map was created? If you can say it's the top 5 in being beautiful, then it qualifies for that trophy. In a game with auto boot set, there's a small hidden grace time before a player is not... In a game with auto boot set, is there a small hidden grace time, like 15 seconds, before a player is not committing time in case it gets booted? No, there's no grace time. As soon as it says 0, they can be booted. Some people have asked for grace time, but I think it's kind of silly because I mean, why? Everyone should have to obey the clock. All that means is when you see the clock say 5 seconds, you have to remember that if you have 15-second grace time, 5 seconds really means 20 seconds. Like, why force people to memorize that? Why lie? Why lie to the players about what the boot time really is? I'm not sure any of mine would qualify. I think Great Lakes looks nice myself, and Inner Sphere. I can't remember those specific maps. I'm sure they're great. Probably because the average intelligence on the WarLight forums is higher, or expected to be higher than big public games. It could be true. Have you played Tribal Wars? No, I haven't. Oh, you asked me how I am, not how old I am. I'm doing great. Thanks. Sorry. Somebody asked me how old I was on the previous stream, so I guess I just read into it. Has anyone ever died playing WarLight? Not that I'm aware of, no. You seem excited for today. I do? I seem different than the previous stream. What's your opinion on multi-attack games? I think they can be fun. I think they are a little bit harder to play than non-multi-attack. So I think it's not something I promote for noobs, but multi-attack can be fun. I definitely would like to see some more restrictions added to multi-attack, like maybe like a triple attack where you can move 3 times but not infinite times or something like that. I think that would be cool. Regarding boot time for multi-day games, I would really appreciate a countdown at the very end, similar to real-time games. Yeah, I hear you. Real-time games have a clock in the top right corner, and multi-day do not. But it does make sense that if you get down towards the end, a clock could appear if you only have like 5 minutes left. I think that's kind of a rare scenario. Like, if you're playing a game that has a 2-day boot, what are the odds that you're going to be on like right at the end of those 2 days? Most of the time when someone's playing a multi-day game, they are, they play it with, hours remaining or days remaining. So that's the only reason there's no clock. I also don't want to do anything that might encourage people to wait until the last minute. Like, I want to encourage people to take their turn right away, not procrastinate. Anyone who has been following my tournament Champions League, who do you think will win? I'm not sure. I'm not following it. I'm not from the States, and I think you have a soothing voice. Well, thank you. Has anyone really... Yeah. Do you have any geographic usage stats? I do. Let's see what I can pull out. Let's see if I can pull up Google Analytics without spoilers. How am I going to do this? Let me just take a screenshot. Okay. There you go. There's a map for you. Let's see. In a multi-day game, I've committed my orders in a multi-day game, but my teammate not, as he is on vacation. Boot time has passed already. Will I be booted immediately when I click modify orders? So if one person takes... So the boot time is applied to each person individually. So if your teammate is on vacation, that does not mean you're on vacation. If your teammate is on vacation and the game has progressed past its boot time and you haven't committed, you can be booted. But you may not be booted immediately when you click modify orders, because the auto booter isn't that smart. It doesn't check the game immediately. The auto booter comes back and revisits that game every once in a while. I think it's like every 6 hours or something like that. So it's unlikely that you will be booted immediately when you click modify orders, but there is a chance that you could be. So I would not recommend I would not recommend doing it. The grace time feature could help not getting booted in case the player uses all the regular time for committing, but faces the last second server delays. Yeah, I mean, my opinion on that basically is you shouldn't go to the last second, because there could always be server delays, there could always be internet connection problems on your end, there could always be internet server problems on WarLight's end. There could always be problems somewhere in the middle. You could lose power. There's all sorts of things that could happen. If you're concerned about being booted, don't wait till the last second. Do you know how many potatoes you would sell WarLight for? I don't know. I'm kind of hungry right now. Maybe 1 potato? I don't know. So seeing that you actually own this game, there's got to be a game you thought was the best of them all. It better be good. You mean like one WarLight game? I don't know. I've played a lot of games. I don't know if any one is the best. I can't live that. You built it up too much. You're like, it better be good. So now anything I present isn't going to be good enough. And wow. How tall are you? I am just about 6 feet tall. I don't know anything about you, but I think you would be like Tom Hanks. All right, that's cool. I don't know what Tom Hanks is like in real life. I've only seen him in movies. Can you show us updated color win percentage stats on ladders? Oh, so a long time ago I posted stats on what color tends to win the most often on the 1v1 ladder. Yeah, you should make a forum thread about it. Maybe I'll find that query and post it. What you were saying about 2 or 3 attacks in multi-attack games. If you add something like distances in between territories, and according to that, troops will be moved 1, 2, or 3, whatever times you get the point. Yeah, that could be interesting. It's kind of like a weighted graph. Is that what they're called? Weighted nodes? Whatever they say. Any chance of a real-time tournament? Doubtful, give it a shot. I'm not sure if anyone's hosting one right now, but someone could. I think Fizzer should give himself a trophy for streaming for so long. Yeah, what's this been, 3 hours? We should probably wrap it up here pretty soon. Once I catch up, if you guys have any last-minute questions, ask it now, because once I catch up on chat, we'll probably be done. What are you interested in outside of computer games and coding? Well, that's where I spend most of my time, but I also like going hiking. Let's see. Yeah. Genghis keeps repeating his meme. Or maybe it was someone else, I can't remember. Some streamers have personal emoticons. Can the channels streaming WarLight get WarLight emotes? I don't know how that works. I assume that's a Twitch feature. I don't know how Twitch determines who gets those and who doesn't. Too many Americans. I doubt the Baltics are on par with the rest of the world. Never seen another Latvian. I'm sure they're there. That graph didn't do a good job at... I don't know if they have enough colors. Can we get a ladder icon on the dashboard next to ladder games like we have for tournaments? I think that makes sense. You should add user voice. Will there ever be 100-player games? Is it even possible? We did have a 50-player game. We could maybe someday have ones that are bigger. It's possible. It's certainly not impossible. I have a neighbor who's 57-year-old and keeps inviting me to around for tea. I'm only 25, so I don't know what to spend my time with a 57-year-old. How do I tell him to piss off? I thought you were going to say he was inviting you to WarLight games. Well, maybe you should just get him addicted to WarLight, and then he won't bother you anymore. I know people that are that old that play WarLight. It's not unusual. Will WarLight ever go 3D? I don't know what that would look like. I don't know. It's possible to get potato in Latvia. Also cold and malnourished, such is life. I'm taller than Fizzer. Good job. Congratulations. Will WarLight ever be playable on the Oculus? I'm sure it will be. I've never used an Oculus, but I think it's kind of cool. I'm sure, can't you hook up an Oculus and just get your desktop and then, put a web browser in there and play? Like, why not? It should already work. Yeah, so one-way connections. That's another thing that I'm not a big fan of. I've played other games on the internet, kind of like WarLight, that have one-way connections, and I was never really happy with it. Like every single time a map used it, the map was used it in a really bad way. It's just my experience with it was poor, and I think it adds too much complexity. So I'm not a big fan of one-way connections. Again, I'm trying to keep WarLight a simple game. The language is WarLight is mostly coded in C Sharp. It uses a bunch of other languages as well, but C Sharp is the core code. Have I seen John Carpenter's The Thing? I think maybe I watched that in like a film class in high school. I might be thinking of a different movie. I mean, is that the old black and white one where they're all like in some base in some frozen area and the thing attacks them? All right, some people are spamming the same question over and over. I can't add on user voice. I have too many great suggestions on there. You can always add. I mean, you can take your votes. Anytime you put your votes towards something on user voice, you can always take them back and change your mind and move them around. So you can always add. You can always just take away your votes from something you have now and put it into something else. I know there's a lot of suggestions up there, but you have 10 votes, so you could have 10 suggestions. You can even take your votes away from one suggestion and just leave it at 0. I would say focus on the ones you care the most about, because I can only work on one thing at a time anyway. So even if you could have 50 votes and have votes into 50 different ideas, it doesn't really help, because you really want to prioritize like the one or the two things you want me to work on. There are 4 lights in WarLight. Last minute questions. Will you someday in the future, play a game with me? Sure. We ever discussed the Ladder Luck forum thread? I already posted a bunch of thoughts to that thread itself. I don't have anything to add that I haven't already posted right now, so you can go read my posts. Any update on the directional territory connections? I thought it was a great idea. It would open up a lot of possibilities in mapping. Directional territory connections. I don't know what that means. When you create a real-time game with manual picks, is there a setting to extend, especially the turn 1 boot time by some factor? So you can kind of do that using the banking boot time feature. You can set it up so that there's a field called initial bank, which is how much banked time you start with. So if you set that to like 5 minutes, then everyone starts with 5 minutes already in their bank. And then there's also another setting that says how long it takes for your bank time to expire, how many turns. So if you set that to, I think you set it to 1, basically it means your bank time expires after 1 turn. Then all that bank time you start the game with will expire basically after the first turn. So essentially you get extra time for the first turn. One of the downsides of doing that though is then you can't combine that with other uses of the banked time feature. Like you can't say I want 5 minutes for the first turn and 10 minutes over the course of the entire game. You can't combine those. You have to choose one or the other. So it's not perfect, but you can kind of do that. The forums are also coded in C Sharp, just like the rest of the app. What inspired you to make the Earth map as it is? I didn't make the Earth map. The Earth map was originally made by a player named Grundy, who was active when WarLight was brand new. He made a lot of the very first maps. You can send a mail and ask him. Do you believe in life after love? Sure. Time heals all. Do you like Lord of the Rings? Yes, I do. I haven't read the books. I've only seen the movies. Have you ever thought about introducing win ratio in the profile that's including average win rate? For example, 5 FA is 20. You could do that. I mean, the data's already there. It shows you everybody's win rate in all the different types of games, so you can calculate that yourself. I don't know if it's really necessary to include some sort of win ratio overall. Honestly, I'd rather do some sort of global ELO or something like that if you want to condense somebody's win rate down to a single number. What's the rule on map stealing from another map creator? I know we had a big controversy on Raw with Fridge. I talked about that last stream. You can go back and watch the last stream, and we talked about their maps. Congratulations, you managed to go 3+ hours of customer care unpaid and writing every good suggestion down. I wonder what you will still remember from what was said. Well, it's all on video, so I don't need to remember. Have anyone from North Korea ever played WarLight? I have no idea. That's a good question. Seeing that you're leaving already, I wish you farewell. All right, have a good day. Where are you from? I'm from Washington State. What ideas do you have for the next seasonal ladder? I haven't determined that yet. I really don't know. What hairstyle do you have? I don't know. I'll post a picture later. What about a team seasonal ladder? I think I talked about that earlier. There's no plans for it right now. You can create a user voice. How do I make maps? Click help, and there's a link right here. How can I make my own map? Click on that. It'll teach you how. Who do you think is the greatest leader that ever lived? I don't know. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, but I don't know how he'd compare to leaders of historical eras. Grundy created Medium Earth. Well, my name is on Medium Earth, but that's just because I took Grundy's Earth map and modified it. So I only made the modifications. Grundy made the original. Say your troops are in Paris. If you order them to attack Paris, they will auto-decide the shortest path. What do you think about this feature? If they're in Paris and you order them to attack Paris, they'll go the shortest path. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you meant to say 2 different places. You could be like, I want you to go from Brazil to Sweden or something, and they would just find the path. I don't know if that, I think that's too much complexity. Like, I think it's fine. Given the sizes of WarLight maps, you should be able to just move them every turn. Because, you know, you have to, if you add a way to tell them to go long distances, and then you like want to change their minds, you have to have a way to cancel it. And it introduces a whole bunch of extra UI and stuff. What do you think how gender specific WarLight is? Do you have any idea about the male to female player ratio? Yeah, it's funny. When I first started creating WarLight, I thought it was going to be like 90% male. But in the end, it was only like 60% male. So it's still more male than female, but there's actually quite a few girls that really enjoy it. There's a lot of girls that are really into it and play like thousands of games, and there's girls that even are really good at it and like, you know, kick everyone's butt on the ladder. So yeah, that's the thing. Can you make it so that you can set moderators in clans instead of user or manager? Yeah, I talked about that in the last stream. Possibly, I mean, given infinite time, sure. I don't see any reason why not. I think it'd be a good feature. But you should vote for it on user voice. We'll prioritize it against everything else. All right, I caught up on chat. So I'm going to sign off now because I've been streaming for almost 3.5 hours. So I'm glad you all could join us. I hope you all had fun. And we'll do this again some point. I don't know when, but I'll post it to the forums. Thanks for everyone for chilling out with me. And I'll see you later.